City of Port Richey Centennial Committee meeting Tuesday, April 29th, 2025. Let's stand.
Madam Clerk, have roll, please.
Chairman John Eric Hoover,
Here.
Vice Chairwoman Caroline Gonzalez. Let the record show that Vice Chairwoman Gonzalez is absent from today's meeting. Member Sal LaCarey,
Here.
Member Adam Thompson,
Present.
Member Julie Keenan, here. Member Kim LaCarey, here. Member Debbie Robinson, here. Member Janet Applefield.
Thank you. Okay, first up, we have no minutes, so we're going to move right on to comments from the general public. I do not have any signed up. Anyone like to speak? Yeah.
Well, before he speaks, I think we were going to talk to him about item 3. Do we just want to move item 3 up?
Oh, do you? Yeah, you're talking about item 3. You had general comments.
Huh?
Do you just have general comments, or you just to talk about the car show?
No, just
Because we have an agenda item for you.
okay.
But if you want to wait, we can probably redo the agenda. Are you in a hurry to get out, or okay?
No,
Come back to you.
yeah, it's all right.
Okay, moving on to committee business. We can probably go through the first couple and just do it in order. So number 1, Centennial Events budget discussion. I'll pass it over to Member Thompson for his update.
Can you put it up on the screen?
Yep.
Please?
Sure. Give me just a second here.
I have the agenda pulled up too, but I don't know.
I just sent the request.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Take it away, sir.
So not much has changed since our last meeting. We sold a total of 14 shirts and
Yay.
4 challenge coins so far.
Okay.
I did all the checks for the winners of the fishing tournament has been made. Only one has picked them up. And then I also refunded the $300 to Mr. Nappy and returned the $100 to Lori Simpson. But other than that, nothing has really changed on here.
So that's why he's on there 3 times. He paid 3 times.
Yeah, so I showed his income because it processed through the bank. So yes, it'll show once he picks up the check, it'll show us I'll take it out of our actual line item.
Okay. He paid online,
He paid online, yeah.
so he hit the fees 3 times too.
Yeah, and I refunded him 3% times the 3.
Okay.
So he got his money back.
Were you able to get
I just got with Janet.
You got
today
the
on phone
information?
numbers
Okay.
to call for the other 2
right? 'Cause
who won. to
Murray
get
left
their
her the checks to get contact with
Yeah,
them.
so we've been in contact with our merchant service on this whole thing. We're having some issues with a couple of the online payment portals. I think we fixed them today, but they're still trying to figure out how to get us the information on there. So it's not accessible to us. When we went there and looked at, you put your address, name, it's not accessible to us.
Oh, really?
He thought it was when I talked to him.
Right.
He's like, I don't know why you can't see it, but he goes, we'll fix it. But as talking to him today, it still hasn't been corrected. So I couldn't go on there and find anything, for anybody. So
There has to be a way because all those fields are mandatory when they enter the information.
right, but when we
It's gotta
what
go
we
somewhere.
see, right, but what we
Right.
see is all you've seen
Yeah.
it, just the
Just the name.
and
Just
then
the
it
name.
does come up FT for fishing tournament or whatever the case may be. Also, I'm trying to verify, but I believe 2 people. This Gregory Smith and I think one other person. I'm trying to track down this other $15 payment for the car show. Are we just going to cut a check to the guy taking over? Or are we, for the car show entries, or return the money back to the 2 people?
We can cover that on item 3. We'll talk about car show. We'll go through that.
Any other questions on?
Yeah, just the golf scramble. Can you take off the prize money that was
Oh,
Right.
okay. The budget, yes, that's right. Because we canceled that event.
and the prize money from the car show would not be on there either.
That's correct.
Take those 2 at the bottom off.
So the 350 and then the
1100.
Well, I'm sorry. And the one I have, it is. So we did. There is only $200. We did spend $200 for
Right, the car show. Yeah, that
So the golf scramble. The only thing I don't know if it's in the one I sent to her or not, but it should only have $200, and that was what.
correct, and that is actually being used to cover.
Oh, but I see down the bottom.
foursome.
Never mind. Yeah.
Yeah, that's being used to cover the foursome for
Gotcha. So
Amber
I'll take
Childs.
that out, and then what else was there? The car show. We'll take that out.
Yep.
Okay. So I'll correct those.
Any new signups for mayor's hall?
Nope, just what's on here now. We haven't had any payments through our portals for since last week.
And you can't get the information off of there, right? Because there was a person that signed up, but we didn't know what they ate, what they're eating.
Do you know which one that was, David or Nick?
Yeah, your mic's off.
Sure, Mike's on. Sorry. Actually, both of those.
Of this?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll reach out to them tomorrow. They actually, I even called them, and they'll give you the information on that.
Okay.
Just, so I'll call and see if we can't get information on these two.
Okay.
I think it's really critical that we get the information from the vendors because we need names and addresses to follow up with these people for future events or thank them for participating or anything like that.
So I agree with you.
Yeah.
One thing you have to understand is we're working with a very old system, and one of the things we're trying to do as a city is upgrade all that. But the system is it fills a need for the moment, but there's no real it hasn't grown with the times. So when we pull it up, and that's what I was trying to explain. So when it comes over, you can put in Miss Applefield and all your information, but the only thing I see when I go to process it is your name and mate. Like the ones that we have for the fishing tournament just said FT on there. So that's it. No other information is
So
available.
where did all that information go when
The vendor has it. The merchant that does the card processing has it.
I mean, that worked out really well. I think you devised a really good system with them, but with us not being able to get the information, it's
Well, we will be able to. Like I said, they're capturing it, so they have it.
Yeah, we can pray at the end. I mean, we'd have to just call every day. Every time we got paid, we'd have to call and ask them. But I think at the end of this, like especially for the fishing tournament, we can get a list of everybody that signed information from that
okay.
web ID.
Especially if you want to do this in
Right.
the future.
And two, some people on here, some of these people that signed up for the fishing tournament signed up for somebody else. They paid for it for somebody else. But
One or two of them.
yeah,
did that,
but
yes.
for me, I only see the card number. I mean, the card name that went on there. So
Right.
if you did it, but you're signed up for me, it wouldn't say Adam Thompson on it. It would say Miss Applefield.
Right.
So that's been a thing. So that's why I only put. This is only what I see. That's the only thing I put on here.
Okay.
So, but we can get it. It's just we can either piecemeal it, or if this works for us right now, we can always at the end of it or right before it say, let's get the whole list of stuff.
So we can ask for that when we're done.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome.
It's our information. I think we should be fine with it.
Yep. Okay. Thank you.
I'm just forward. Can you change that budgeted amount to either budget remaining or unbudgeted amount so it reflects what it actually is?
Oh yeah. Budget remaining.
And then
I have to email you. I made a $180 purchase today.
Okay.
To pick up the time capsule and the 4 signs for the business expo.
Okay.
So you can write on your notes now, but I'll email you the details later on.
And weren't you saying something about need more banners or something? We haven't bought anything else, right?
No. I have ordered the signs and the banners for the 17th and 18th.
Okay.
and that's all coming out of miscellaneous advertisement.
Did we get the banner for the expo?
I have several. I got 4 signs that we got.
And I still haven't seen the invoice for the rulers for the fishing tournament.
Oh, yeah, it's
So do you have that?
I pay with them a credit card, but
Oh, you pay with a credit card?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I'll send you a copy of that. It's in my folder. So
Gotcha. All right.
This might be an issue for a little later, but are we budgeting the same amount for the car show as we originally had?
no, it should come out. There's no car show budget.
Because that's up there still.
Yeah, they mentioned that earlier. To pull that with the golf scramble, both of them.
Okay.
Okay. Any other budget questions? Okay. All right. Moving on to number 2, finalization of time capsule plaque. I'll pass it over to
Thank you.
Carrie.
Just to let everyone know, on these two pictures, no, the white border surrounding will not be in the finalized picture. This was just me. You build these are what you would call a pre-proof that you submit. You submit a pre-proof, and then the professionals go ahead and create a final proof before authorization. So the white border just came as I dragged the logo over, but will not be in the final. So these two plaques, one is a stainless steel plate on a granite plaque, which I saw and I noticed, and I said, let me include this for us to decide on, just because it's it's stainless steel. It's also lifetime lasting. It'll be laser engraved on top of that. That will last pretty much very long time. And then the other one is basically going to be just a black granite plaque, with the words just engraved into the granite. So I wanted to just get everyone's feel on this so I can order it and get it here.
The red borders, that's just a.
That's just part of that. That's not going to be there. That was
That's
their
area.
That was their area to say drop it. So in other words, I can't go outside that.
Yeah.
That was just their border, but it won't be in the final.
What I would suggest, as opposed to having all the words on top and the logo on the bottom, is possibly put City of Port Richey time capsule at the top, then the logo, and then below the logo the date. And as well, and I'm assuming the logo is going to be in black and white, not color, right?
Right. That's just it's because it's going to either laser engraved or engraved in granite.
And then I would also suggest that we try to match the font with the font that was used in the actual.
Oh, okay.
And I would suggest taking the TH off for the 18th and just make it May 18th.
Yeah.
And then put a space between the 2025 too.
Yeah.
All right. So let me get.
Yeah, that one had. That's another thing. Glad you
Let me
caught
get
that.
these
Didn't have a space on it. And the
So
grand one.
date below logo.
Do we need City of Port Richey twice? Or just, if you put the logo at the top, it would say City of Port Richey, and then just under it put time capsule May 18th. I don't know.
I think the logo stands
Because
out.
they're both going to be engraved in
think-
black and white. It's not like it's in colorful or anything. It's not like separate. But that was just the idea.
So you move the logo to the top and just put.
And then put
Time
time
capsule.
capsule May 18th underneath of it.
Good.
And then you would have that writing,
Mm-hmm.
font, and everything.
It has
Considering it's black and white, I don't know.
the one that's in the ground now has everything I've written here. City of Port Richey, time capsule, and then the date. No logo. So it just has those three things. But I wanted to throw the Centennial logo in there because it being a Centennial.
I would because the logo is the logo going to be engraved or is it going to be
Go back down.
Well, which
Printed
one?
on there.
Which one did we want to go with? The stainless
I
steel.
like the granite.
I like the
Laser
granite, yeah.
granite.
Granite.
and it's cheaper, right?
It's a little cheaper. Yes.
Yeah.
I think it would look better for the granite.
All right. I believe it's going because of the fine detail of it. It's probably going to be. I don't think they're going to etch it in there. I think it's going to be like a.
Yeah.
Which do you think is more durable out of the two?
Well, I would find that out. It's whether that's going to be etched or not. If it's etched,
And the only reason why
I'd say get rid of the City of Port Richey at the top. Or the double, City of Port Richey. But if it's just kind of a stamp or something like that, yeah.
I mean, you're going to see this. I mean, it's going to be visible on the ground. I don't know that. I mean,
The logo is small, so
it's redundant, but I mean, I think
Well, then it would make that, you would be able to make that a little bit bigger because then you're getting rid of one of the lines. And then the logo could be a little bit bigger.
so you're saying just put time capsule up top, May
No.
18th on the bottom, and then just
No,
have
just
the
put
logo
City
in
of
the
Port Richey logo, the logo at the top. Just the logo. Then have time capsule May 18th.
Oh.
But without that one extra line, that third line of wording, you would have the logo could be a little bit bigger.
Oh, he's gonna put the third line and, underneath. So it's gonna be the city.
It would be just two
No.
lines of wording at that point.
Unless you split it, say time capsule, put the logo and put the date underneath.
I like the city of Port Richey on top.
Well, it would be. It would just be part of the logo.
And I agree with you saying too. I guess I'm thinking more like this as the headstone. You know, you have the logo is really the picture. It's not necessarily. I mean, it has City of Port Richey in it, but it's part of the logo itself. I think it probably would look better if it had the other stuff reiterated City of Port Richey on there, like I said, in a different font, obviously. But you know, I mean, you could take it off. It is somewhat redundant, but I have a feeling that the logo and the writing are going to be distinctly different in engraving.
Well, that's what I was saying. If it's engraved,
like
if that logo is engraved, do it with just City of Port Richey, just the one time within the logo.
Right. I think it's going to be
if it's
different.
not engraved, yes, I agree. Leave it both ways.
Yeah.
If that was the difference.
I mean, it does. If you look at their
'Cause
granite
then it would wear
flags
off.
example, it looks like it's not
Looks
engraved.
like
It's all
only
printed.
engraved.
Sal, can you get the logo in
Yeah, but
color?
that's all engraved.
They didn't offer to do the granite plaque with a color emblem.
Just asking.
It's like a laser etching thing.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like we're in agreement to put the date on the bottom. The only other question is, and we're all in agreement on the granite plaque.
Yeah.
So the only other question is, do we write City of Port Richey or not?
Yeah, yes, and then put the picture in the middle and the date underneath it.
Yeah. Keep it consistent with what it was before.
It was just depending on whether it was etched or not. That was my only.
Well, I mean,
Because then it would just be etched twice.
well, let me just. So you want to make a motion to leave the City of Port Richey off?
Depending on whether it's etched. If it's not etched, and whether it's stamped on, I don't know how it comes. I haven't been talking to him.
Just keep it on there. I mean, if it's on,
It's fine.
either way.
Either way, that's fine.
I'm sorry, but
Is it gonna be etched, do you know? Did it say in the description?
That's what she's trying to ask.
Yeah.
We don't know.
I don't think he doesn't know yet.
in the granite, I don't think they're going to.
Because it shows it
They're
etched
gonna.
on the thing.
I think they're going to put the logo on there as a Yeah.
Sticker.
well, not a sticker, but like
A screen printer.
like a laser screen.
An etched piece of metal?
Yeah, or something like that. I'll double check with them, but it's not going to be carved into the granite. Everything else, all the wording will be, but not the logo.
What's the turnaround time? Did they say?
10 to 15 days.
So we probably need to.
yeah,
order it.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to get it out there and order.
Well, unless there's an objection, why don't we go ahead and just leave it City of Port Richey time capsule,
And just
The
put the date on
logo.
the bottom.
because we don't have really time to
Yeah, that's fine. Just put the date on the bottom.
and date on the bottom. Change the font.
Change the font
So
to
it
this.
I was
matches.
just going to ask you, do we have a choice of font?
Yeah. Do you remember what that was?
I'll look it up.
Okay.
I have to look it up.
Okay.
Because we really should get that ordered if it takes
Yep.
like 2 weeks to get.
So any objections to that?
Nope.
City of Port Richey time capsule logo, date on bottom, with the font match. We should be good to go.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it. It will look much nicer than the one we have.
Yes.
That was actually the second one because somebody ran over the first one and broke it.
That's right.
Oh, really?
That's right.
Yeah, the old building official.
Yes, he did.
Ran over it there?
Mm-hmm.
He ran into the tree too. Yeah,
He
the
took
whole.
out a palm tree and everything out front.
Was it?
He had a medical episode.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
So was they doing some work there?
He ran over the whole flower bed over there.
Okay, next up, item number 3, car show / food truck event updates. If you want to come forward, I'll turn it over to you.
All right, great.
Yeah, I asked TJ to come so we can get an update about everything that's going on. So
Yes,
go right ahead.
TJ Lombardo, 88 Bain Avenue, Spring Hill, Florida. And
Mic on? Okay.
hello?
Okay.
And just let you know, everything's moving along. We got 4 food trucks serving all different types of entrees. We got a barbecue, we'll have a pizza, we'll have a hot dog and sausage, we'll have a Mexican truck, we'll have a coffee truck, we'll have an iced slushy truck, a smoothie truck, refreshments. I got a bunch of free giveaways that we're going to give out. A lot of the car supplies type of accessories, cleaning details. We got AutoZone, Advance, O'Reilly's. Then we're going to have some food places giving out some free giveaways, maybe gift cards like Carrabba's, Charlie's Philly Cheesesteak, Taco Bell's giving out free taco gift certificates. Cars are no problem. We'll have no problem with that.
Do you account?
A great response.
Okay.
Yeah, so within 30 days, we should have anywhere from 200 to 300.
Okay.
Yeah, we have 300 that are interested. Well, they sign in on an event page that I have, and you can click going or interested. So a lot of them click interested because that's the first thing they see. So we have about 300 on Facebook. We're probably about 1,000 total. And out of the 1,000 total, probably about 300 or so will be there.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been going. It's different the way car show family is and stuff. You know, I've been going to all the car shows for the past month, handing out flyers. Most of them saying we're already going.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of clubs are coming, and they bring like 10 or 20 cars each. I met with Larry today. We discussed the layout for the music.
Okay.
Yep. So we can do that on that grass area if that works for power
Yes.
that we spoke about.
About the what we talked about before
Yep.
in the center there.
Yep.
That's the thing.
Yep. So he purchased a, what is it? A generator just in case. But then I said, no, we spoke about possibly having power for him, which then he doesn't have to worry about putting the generator on.
Yeah, I have to speak to the owner of that.
That-
Right behind there, but
Yeah.
it shouldn't be a problem because we know what that is. So,
Yeah.
and then they have outlets all along the back.
Yeah, we were looking at all those and everything. It's pretty easy and pretty accessible.
Learned that before the show.
Okay, perfect.
Sal, can you turn your microphone on?
Oh, he was coughing.
Sorry, I was coughing. So what I just said is that I'll go ahead and I'll confirm with the building that's right next to him, so we can go ahead and make sure he's got power. Have you heard from? Because I sent an extended site plan for Walmart. Have you heard from them?
No.
Talk to
I
them.
just saw what you said.
Okay, because I've been trying to get in contact with them to make sure they were okay with the extended site.
To that other little rectangle.
I think they will have a problem because it's still an area that they don't use as often. So, but I'll reach out to them again and get confirmation.
That extended footprint, how many cars can you fit within that?
350.
So we should have enough for 350.
14 rows of 12 and 12 rows of 12.
Okay.
Plus, we still have the outer.
12.
Well, I didn't know if we should, because Vesh is right there. Maybe ask them if we need to have some overflow or whatever.
So we have those where the plug-in would be, that other one. There's those single rows there, but I'm trying to maybe stay away from there because unless we were blocking that throughway.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the cars go if they want to go to the end of Ridge Road. Because if not, and they're going between Walmart and Vesh, they have to make the right and make the U-turn.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know if we would be able to discuss to see if we would barrier both sides and then make one big square. Or if we weren't going to do that, I wouldn't want cars to be on that side while there's a through,
We have directional signs. I'll have to find out through Public Works, because what we can do is that as they're heading towards Ridge Road,
Yep.
we can have them turn earlier before the car show itself, so then they can turn and go around that way. So we can block it, but make a complete square. But right now, everyone takes that road
Yes.
to go out and make.
They're coming from like the Ham Place or GameStop or whatever, and they're coming that way. Then
I think we have directional signs that we can use that, as people are going down that way, they'll turn early and go around. So we'll see what we can do.
yeah, because that's the parking lot really doesn't have too many, intersections.
Yeah, well, I guess the parking for the patrons that are going to visit the car show.
Yeah, they'll be in the Walmart shopping center. They're going to park everywhere.
So
Yeah, the other parking lots of the other businesses.
And then there's that other parking lot next to where the cars drive. So our parking lot, and then you have, I call it the throughway because that's where everybody goes. Then there's another parking lot right there. We'll probably get a lot of spectators parking there because nobody from Walmart uses that far.
Right.
That's a long walk.
I want to tell you that your signs are really nice.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm getting a lot of responses.
I like the signs. They're really nice.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
So I know that, obviously with the car show parking there, as well as the patrons parking Walmart, and then you get the people that are just going to Walmart, right?
Yeah.
That parking lot could get filled. They have a parking lot in the back where their service area is.
Okay.
There's quite a few spaces back there. I wonder if directing, like somebody's bringing a car, like a food truck, they're driving, they get
Yeah, I can have
kind of park back there and walk over something.
approved. Then, so what I do is this upcoming week, that's when I start posting a lot of the map stuff. So everybody can see everything, where you're coming from, which way direction you're coming from. And then I can also post, do a screenshot of Google Earth that I can have a spot in the back. If you're a vendor or whatever, you got to unload and then you go park and then you have to walk back.
Okay. It's as you probably used to doing it anyway, but be cognizant of Walmart. So they're gracious enough to let us use that. We don't.
Sometimes people will bring a trailer with their car because they don't drive their car from Ocala. So they'll trailer it and then just offload it just for the show.
Okay. Yeah, because they've got stuff in the back that's never even used. And
Right.
probably put some of that stuff, just kind of keep it out of the way. And I guess it probably wouldn't hurt to reach out to Vesh to see if they'd be okay to use the parking lot during that time as well.
Now, those other stores,
Anyway, so
Yeah, so we can mention it to
we'll
them.
talk to them.
Try to get some additional parking up there at Vesh.
and those other stores that, I don't know if there's anybody there.
Where the honey baked ham and stuff is.
No, next to Vesh.
Where the Lighthouse Pizza used to.
Oh, well, so Lighthouse Pizza's closed. It's going to be on a
Well, because there was some CBD place that used to.
place, and I think they're open on Saturday on a corner. Other than that, though, they're
Everyone else
Yeah,
is
the corner used to be
Magic Weather.
Right. Okay.
like a.
I think the only thing open there is that hair salon
Okay. Okay.
right now. So there might be some.
Yeah, there's like 20 spots in there and stuff. I did have some questions, if I'm able to get them answered, were for the food trucks that have been calling or sending their information in. So usually they would have like a COI on the bottom of their insurance and stuff. So one of them put the city of Port Richey because they thought because they didn't know what to put because it's on Walmart Shopping Center, but it's a city event. So then they called in and then they said they shouldn't have had that. They spoke to a Veronica or something. So that was John. So
That's one of my questions.
yeah, so I'm trying to find out, do they have to have anything? Because it's private property, it's public property, it's not city property.
Yeah, so
He's running the event, there's like 4 different things going on.
We've been discussing this all day, so this is a.
They just want to know how to fill it out so they don't have to get it back and fill it out again and again and again.
Those are my questions as well. So we have them filling, oh, sorry. The microphone,
Okay.
sorry. Okay, so those were my questions as well. And I flagged a couple things within the application. So the application that they're filling out is a City of Port Richey Park vendor agreement.
Right.
Because it's on city property, this really, they shouldn't be filling this out because.
because it's not on city property.
Correct. Everything here is geared
Oh,
towards
like if we were doing it
at a city park, right? Or at a city, owned piece of property,
Sure.
right? So the application that they're filling out, everything is city.
Yeah.
So that's number one. Number two, the insurance is another thing that I flagged. That doesn't, unless Walmart or unless I don't know all the ins and outs of this, right? I'm just working with vendors,
Yeah, sure.
but I don't know what type of agreement you have with Walmart or who has with Walmart, unless Walmart wants an
Nothing to do
insurance.
with me, I'm stepping in.
So that's, I guess, so those are some of my questions. Unless there's an agreement between the city and Walmart or I thought it was him, I don't know who's in charge.
We
but-
have email authorization from Walmart. I've talked to talked to their main office. They said it was okay to do.
They didn't ask for
I
any kind of
they didn't-
insurance
Yeah,
type
they
thing.
didn't ask for any insurance or they didn't ask for any formal agreement. They just said it's okay to use the parking lot for the car show. And that's as far as we took it.
Okay.
So if we need to do something, then I need to get with them.
I mean, that's just a suggestion that I would give, just to, so that the city's not liable for anything, should anything happen in that parking lot. That's just my opinion. But, I mean, you all make that decision. But I'm just collecting these, so I need to know what I'm collecting. But if Walmart doesn't want it, then we don't need to require that.
Mind putting the Walmart as the
Yeah.
COI, but they just want to know what's the proper way to.
I would say it's
Both.
Walmart's property.
So I would ask
Yeah, I would
Walmart.
say Walmart and City of Port Richey.
Yeah, so that this way it you know,
If somebody gets
we're not-
hurt, they're going to sue everybody. in
That's
chain.
what, yeah. So that was one of my questions as far as that. Fire department does not inspect on private property the food trucks
Oh,
by state.
okay.
So that's,
Tell everybody they have to bring their
Now-
insurance and their health certificate.
well, and that's always good, but because I'm getting those with the vendors as well.
Them too.
But I got a little confused because I have two events going on there, and then I'm dealing with the Centennial stuff at the waterfront park. So I got a little confused with what, and I'm asking people for things that I don't need to. So I'm trying to organize this and understand. But so the fire department will inspect food trucks at the city park, and we'll charge a fee for those inspections and go that route. But for the car show at Walmart, it's private property, so so that's not needed. But they do still need to bring fire extinguishers, things like that. But that's
I
not
was equipped with that. I made
right.
sure of that.
Fees. So I have someone who wanted to apply today.
Yeah, Heroes.
Yes, okay. So he wants to bring his food truck, okay, for that event, for the car show. But made a check for $100 to the city of Port Richey.
Yes.
We are charging $100 fee for food?
So I have two fees. How I do is depending on what they're selling and how big how their items are. So entrees, and we discussed this before, entrees, we charge $100 for food trucks. And then any type of side item or desserts, we usually charge $50, which would be donated to you guys too. So like if someone's selling an ice cream cone at $4, we don't want to charge them $100. Yeah, so that's all I was trying to, so I don't think she was here. She wasn't here last time.
Know what
Yeah.
charging.
So those are two. It's 150 and 100 and then 50.
Right,
Yeah. So
for the food trucks.
So, okay, so then I need to get a list of their menu to see what it is that they're selling? Is that how I'm charging?
who makes
Because,
that determination? Are you?
I make that determination. So when they would call her or whatever, so anyway, we have 4 entrees. That's it.
So 4 we're going to be $100. The other are 50.
Hot dogs and Mexican. That's it.
okay, so so just so I understand, so I don't need to be collecting this vendor agreement.
That's what I was told to fill out, so.
I do, okay,
And we discussed this last week about
Okay.
that the car show would be sending you the information. But
okay,
because it was on private property, it was important to at least have what they were going to have there, just in case fire
Correct.
department,
Correct.
anyone else had to get involved.
okay.
But if we don't need to charge them the fees, and that's fine, and we have to discuss fees for the other events as well.
So are you gonna
So-
be telling me what their fees are?
So I wanted to make it as easy as possible. If everything could go through me, then
Perfect.
there's no
Yep.
Perfect,
you know,
so that's fine, so then as I get these,
cell phone and you
so
can.
then I have your email, so then as I get these applications,
Yeah.
you're gonna filter them to me, and then you have some applications that I don't have.
Yeah, so I just have my family, my car show family applications that I just deal with them. Like if they're bringing Hot Wheels, just my stuff that has to deal with me. It has nothing to do with you, so you don't have to worry. They're not selling no food or anything like that.
The only thing the city's doing is collecting the fees for the vendors, for the food
Right.
trucks.
And so he's gonna tell me what
And he'll tell you
fees
what they
to
are.
collect.
It sounds
for
like
each
4 of
vendor.
them are $100. The rest of them are 50.
Yeah, there'll be 4 at 100 and 4 at 50.
Okay. Okay,
Just give her the
And-
so,
Yeah, I could. That's why if we can,
yeah,
it's real simple. I won't make it
I know what I'm,
confused or anything like that.
so for the,
I'm telling them that to bring the checks here. So, I mean, if you don't want me to do that, I can collect the checks the day of the event and eliminate, certain things, but
No, you can bring them.
sometimes my head is spinning because I'm dealing with 1,000 people and stuff.
You can bring them here, and we can take care of it.
Yeah.
You and I will communicate.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Be best buds.
I want it to be as easy as possible.
I have his email.
Yeah, my cell phone would be great
Yeah.
too. You could always text me anytime.
Okay. Yeah.
It's all good and stuff.
That was really all I
Yeah, that was really what I was getting a lot of.
well, I'm getting quite. I was
Okay, we'll get it straightened out. I have a meeting at 4:00.
okay.
Okay.
And
One more question.
yes, of course.
Is there a fee for the car show and a separate fee for the food truck rally?
So the food trucks, basically, so cars pay to enter.
And that goes to him.
Yeah, I'm running the show.
So this is you.
Yes. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Just going to worry about the food trucks and stuff.
All right.
And then we started to develop the new
The award.
awards for the city of Port Richey, which is with your logo and stuff.
Nice.
And then I'll also be having taller trophies that will do individual events. Like, so I don't know if everybody's going to be there.
Picture of the actual trophy.
Yeah. So I don't know, like, if
If you want to send it to me, I can put it up on the screen. Real quick. Can you email it real quick? Oh, we just passed it around. Do I need to do anything except this, or just?
How big is this?
It's an 8x8, 8 inches by 8 inches.
We had one the last time he was here. Yeah.
Yeah, but this one actually looks good.
Oh, it has
It's
the
all
logo
etched
on
out of
it.
the acrylic.
I saw it. Oh, yeah, very nice.
I'll come back to you.
That's okay.
You said it's about 8 by
I
8.
just have a feeling that's what they're going to do on the granite.
Is there a way for us to get like a separate one, like while you're ordering those? We'll pay for it.
Yeah, I would have to do that ASAP.
Put it in the cabinet.
Yeah, either in a cabinet
How many do you
or
want?
in our time capsule.
Oh, how many?
Just one.
Just one more.
Oh, yeah, no, I did. I got 105.
Oh,
I always get a couple extra.
well, yeah, we'll just put them along the walls. It's fine. Whatever's like.
And then I'm going to do some. So what I wanted to talk to you about too, depending on who's going to be at the event, is like maybe we can do a city choice, which means if there's a couple people that are going to be at the event, I'll be like, go pick your favorite car, and then we'll give them an award too. And plus, we'll be doing club awards, the ones that bring the most cars. I'm going to have a first and a second 3-foot trophy. That'll be for the people that bring the most cars for their club. And then we usually do.
Very important call.
That's my wife. That's right. So in Vegas, I'll tell you a thing real quick. I got this commercial. This guy's dancing, and it's like, oh, this girl's dancing with the guy. He's like, oh, I think your wife's calling. He's like, oh no, that's my friend Weefei. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Laugh out of that. Yeah. So no problem. We can have something here and everything.
Okay.
Is there a way, like, to get like a fire truck or something, like for kids, or to talk to anybody? Or I just saw the fire truck out there. I'm like, oh my god, that's all peak.
At the car show, Matt, what do you think? Is it? We can ask.
Yeah, if they're not using it, I mean, yeah.
Thomas Quinn is the one to talk to.
You just never know. I always ask things.
Our police car or our city boat?
Huh?
Our city boat and
Yeah.
police car?
Anything.
I think the fire truck would be nice.
Yeah, we'd do whatever.
Who can check on that?
That's it. So basically, the other thing was like the barriers and stuff like that. They'll be all ready in the morning time, or
The stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, I talked to Public Works Friday about that. We have X amount of barricades. I probably want to get with you, for a final count, see what we're going to need. Take a walk
Yeah,
this week
yeah.
if we can. Go out there.
We just measure lineal footage all the way around.
We've got X amount of like longer A-frames, and then we've got several more shorter A-frames, and
Yep.
we can use caution tape and
I have caution tape too if we need.
do that.
Yep.
But we could take a walk, our final, do a final like barricade walk and see how many
course.
we need.
Right.
Worst case scenario, we could probably reach out to Coastal Rental or something like that and get our hands on them.
They're going to be on site.
So
Are you guys going to set that up the night before? I guess. And I guess we're going to ask that because there may be somebody pull in with their camper or something for the night or whatever. Maybe some cars in our area that we need to get out of there.
okay, well, he usually gets people like 8 of
I can make sure that I have a crew come, and as long as we're allowed to grab the barriers and move them around, I can have them do it the night before, and then we'll be there at 7 in the morning.
Yeah. I'll talk to the public works director and see what if he wants to do. If there's a way, if we can have I think we might have an enclosed trailer we can use. So then that way, I just don't want them walking overnight.
Yeah, exactly.
But one way or the other, you'll have them there either very first morning,
Yeah.
Saturday morning, or Friday night.
So the way I usually have it is I usually have the vendors, the food trucks, and come 2 hours before the event, so they're ready. So they're going to be there at 8 o'clock. The event starts at 10, but I have the gates are open at 9 for all the people that like to be the first ones. I like the best spot, you know.
Does somebody need to ask Culver's if we can use their back parking lot for overflow parking?
Same thing, yeah, we could ask Culver's as well, yeah.
Because they have that whole back
Right.
parking lot by the retention pond that nobody parks back there,
Right.
so.
I think tomorrow, while some of us are at Vesh, if we get a chance to walk with some car show flyers, just to like McDonald's and Culver's and some of the other adjacent businesses, and just let them know.
I did all that too.
You did that already?
Okay.
So it doesn't hurt to just let
Yep.
you said, ask them and confirm.
Did you,
Yeah, I drop flyers off at Culver's.
you want to touch base with them, or you want us to, as far as?
No, I could do everything. It don't matter.
Yeah.
No, I talked to Culver's. I talked to McDonald's. I talked to Wawa. I talked to GameStop. I talked to the eyeglass company, AT&T, the mattress company, the ham. I just didn't talk to Walmart. You know.
Okay.
And
Gift card from Carrabba's.
so Carrabba's sponsors my events. So they usually give me a bunch of gift baskets, which might have a gift card, maybe, other things, appetizers, maybe.
I like to get that information
Yeah, oh yeah.
for the mayor as well.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course.
Thanks, Tom. The silent auction stuff.
Yeah, like
That's yeah, well, yeah. For mine, because we discussed before doing
Yeah.
stuff, but we just do free giveaways.
Anything else?
No, I got a bunch of, like I said, auto detail supplies from AutoZone, Advance Auto, and O'Reilly's, little buckets with different supplies in it. And like I mentioned before, we'll just wind up, picking out of a hat.
right on Ridge Road?
I got them all.
You got them both on Ridge Road?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. We'll just pick a car out of the hat and just say number 313 with the 87 Trans Am. Come on up. This is sponsored by AutoZone on Ridge Road, and
Nice.
yeah.
Anything else on car show?
Not car show, but mayor's ball.
Yeah, we got that
Um,
coming down.
Were you able to lock in the 2 cars?
Oh, yes.
So, yeah, so 1920, you're not going to really know what year it is because they don't really tell you what years they are, but they'll be between the 1924 and 1930 because they're all kind of the same. They're all the rat rods, hot rods, street rods. So I discussed that with old school hot rods. And, minimum 2, I said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just need to know what they're going to have for dinner. That's all.
All right, I'll let you know.
Yeah, thank you.
There'll be like they call them rat rods, which basically has got like an engine in the front sticking up, and it's just like a piece of metal around the cage. And, people wind up just making those cars. They build them themselves.
So what are you gonna have, like a stage? Like when you give the prizes?
Oh,
like-
you're fine. Mike.
Oh, turn on your mic. You're gonna have a stage
So, no, we'll do all the stuff that we're talking from the DJ.
over in the GJ?
Yep.
Okay,
And he's going to have his own, he's got a pull-up trailer that he sets up.
okay.
That's it, really. The weather's looking nice, 88 degrees.
Yeah.
That's it. And then to keep those food trucks going, I'm going to post a car meet afterwards to keep some cars there.
Okay.
We're going to do a 6 to 9. So those are usually my Saturday nights. We usually go like this Saturday. We had 100 cars at Kickin' Wings. We usually go from place to place to help the community businesses out. So the one we were going to have was going to be at Staples, but we now have transferred it to Walmart.
Okay. Cool.
So this way we can get those trucks to stay there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
When you put on the spot, you just want to make sure you got everything covered.
Yeah.
Is that your final answer?
Right?
That was a good update, thank you.
All right.
I'm in constant contact with him. I'm fine, and we still got some other stuff to work out, but
Yeah, and if there was anybody like we discussed before that had, everyone that showed up at Ocean Honda last week, that was crazy.
Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah. No, what during that day or whatever they had like
they had a couple cars show up, and truck,
but they kept the food truck there and let
food
them
truck
work.
stayed there.
So they
truck was there.
said they made money and just hung out.
Yeah, yeah, man, everyone just kind of hang out for a little bit and stuff. But we let them know. John, the guy who runs Ocean Honda, handed out the fly. Well, because I had sent him the new date, so he made copies and handed them out to everybody. But any of those other people that maybe didn't show up there or that pre-register or whatever, if they pull up, it's not a problem. We just let them in.
Yeah. Oh, we
The Newport Richie car show, and I handed out all the wrong flyers.
yeah. The two. We've got two or three.
Two.
So how do you want to deal with these?
You just tell them to come to the show. That's it. Not worried about it. If we could find out if they gave you their phone number or anything like that, or email, or
Give them the names, right?
Yeah,
Before-
I can give you the names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when they come up, you'll already have them.
that's fine.
We took down that ability to pay, but these we had three that paid before that.
We just let them in.
Before.
Just two? I thought we had one. And
There's one, but
'Cause
there's
one
one
he
I'm
already-
still verifying for. We have a $15. I don't have any information on it. I'm trying to track it down. So I have two $15 payments. One I just don't have any names to.
oh, okay.
And I'm not 100% that it's for the car show. We just don't
So it's a total of two we've had.
tell it two.
So the one you knew about,
Yeah.
which
And if somebody comes up and said, "Hey, look, I paid the city," I'm like, oh, "Come on,
okay, all right.
I'm not going
So
to
now we got two.
hassle somebody."
Okay. Very good. Anything else?
I wasn't here the first time you were here. Can you just tell quickly what your categories are for the show?
So we have
A lot.
20-year interval categories, about 15 categories
Oh,
total.
okay.
It'll range from like 1900s to 1930, 1931 to 1950, 1951 to 1970, like that scenario. And there'll be multiple winners in every category and a best of show for that category. Plus, we'll do a People's Choice, a City Choice, an Event Choice. We'll have best overall stock.
Nice.
Up to 1999, best stock over 1999, best modified up to 99, best modified over 1999. So I like to spread it around instead of having 300 cars and handing out 3 trophies.
Sure, they appreciate that.
Yeah. So
No trucks.
yes, trucks, Jeeps, motorcycles, Can-Ams,
Okay.
classics, muscle cars, hot rods, sports cars, luxury cars, under construction cars,
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, Gulf side. Yeah, that's what I have. I got a brand new 25 CO6. But yeah, so they came to an event I just had. I had a car show in Hernando Fairgrounds at the Carnival, and a lot of the Corvette people were there. And then they also came to a free car meet that I just did at Kickin' Wings and at Steak and Shake. So really nice family and stuff. Gulf side.
I live up in Hernando, and
Yep.
I know that Chick-fil-A used to always do one.
Yeah, they don't do it anymore.
Yeah,
50 and stuff. Yeah. That was, yeah.
yeah. Used to be a big one.
Yeah. I used to do them at Target in Spring Hill.
Mm-hmm.
We used to have 1,000 cars every Friday.
Yeah.
And then I was doing it at the old Sears, and then they turned it into BJ's. So they let us know.
City, did we buy the drone for the building department or fire? Still haven't got it yet. So we don't have one, city. It'd be nice if we had some drone footage of
I
the.
have drones.
So you're going to do that?
Everybody, yeah.
Okay, cool.
We take care of all that stuff. We'll have a professional photographer there taking pictures of everything, and then we'll have drones in the air doing drone shots.
Okay. Yes, absolutely. We try to do this on an ongoing basis or whatever. Maybe.
Yeah, it's not my job. I just like bringing people together, and I like looking at cars.
All right.
And I like that 18-year-old with the Toyota Celica would never talk to the 80-year-old with the 57 Bel Air.
Right.
That's the whole thing. And now they're talking, I always get that old, "Hey, TJ." But
Cool. Very good.
Yeah.
Any other questions, TJ? I mean, thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
great. Thank you very much.
Look forward to
so
it.
much.
Okay. Next up, item number 4, finalization of the Business Expo. Carolyn's not here.
I'll go.
Who's-
I got a couple
You
things.
got thanks, okay.
Yeah. So
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez.
Welcome.
I've been here for a while.
Oh, well,
Is
you should've
everybody
said
up
something.
now? Okay.
I was under the assumption she was going to make it.
Yeah, we thought you were not going to be here. Well, I'm glad you made it virtually.
Hi.
What? We'll just turn it over to you then if you want to take it from here. This is the business expo.
Business Expo, the setup begins at 2 p.m. tomorrow. And then it'll be from, the setup stops at 3:15, and then we'll go from 3:30 to 7:30, and then they can pick up their things from 7:30 to 8:30. The last time I knew we had 13 vendors. Has that changed?
No.
Including the city that's gonna put a table, development, I think it's development services?
Yes.
So developers going to have a table there, and I will also have a table as well for the flyers and stuff, right?
Right. We're going to have a table for us. Development Services and Public Works will have the stormwater table.
Okay, cool. Very good.
Okay, so 14, okay. And then, I did have a question, Vesh is asking me, so Vesh is gonna provide a complimentary buffet, so the vendors can sample their food.
Oh, nice.
Also, they wanted to know if they can have the bar open, they are licensed, it would be them selling, and it would be for them. Is that something that I can tell them yay or nay?
Matt, you're the biggest drinker here in the bunch here. So.
I would probably say no to that.
Yeah, I would as well.
Just from a
Okay.
liability perspective.
So I'll let them know, because she just wanted to know, and I told her, I said, I have to speak with them at the meeting. Okay, so no to the bar. But they will provide.
Well, they can have non-alcoholic drinks.
Non-alcoholic.
No, I didn't hear it, what?
Non-alcoholic, just non-alcoholic beverages.
If your mic is not on, she's not
Oh,
going to hear
sorry.
you.
Okay, non-alcoholic beverages.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay, so I will tell them that, just non-alcoholic beverages. So if you want to sample the Shirley Temple, we can.
Okay.
And what else? So we have signs.
Yes.
Yes.
Yay!
Yes.
Signs.
I got four
Okay.
signs. I got 4 signs that'll go up tonight. So I'll put a couple near Vesh and then 2 on near Wawa's. So
Thank you.
Actually,
Okay, thank you.
just going back. So obviously we're going to have the cash bar at the mayor's ball. Is there that different than the business expo, or I guess just limiting the opportunities? Okay. Plus, it's during the day, I guess, too.
It's during business hours.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind. I thought I might fight for you there for a minute, Carolyn, but no go. Okay. Anything else on the expo?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Carolyn, I have those flyers that you wanted. Where are those for the expo for tomorrow?
Yes, I can put them in the bag. Also, the expo, I have 150 bags. I don't expect realistically to get all of them out. So I wanted to see for the Centennial Festival. So I'm also going to be asking some. I had asked Ashley. Did I forgot the name of the company? Did someone drop off magnets, Ashley?
Yes. Yes, they are here.
Okay. So I could go to tomorrow and pick them up also before the expo. But I'm probably gonna stuff the bags with that either there at the expo or for the Centennial Festival. So I do want those flyers if you can leave them with Ashley, and then I'll pick them up tomorrow. Before 2 p.m.
I'll be there tomorrow.
If it's okay, can I?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
I'll go tomorrow.
So I have a question.
Okay,
This is Veronica with the building department. I
Yeah.
have a bunch of flyers, and I know you had wanted me to get some information to Ashley, but there's a lot of information that I have to hand out. You don't need all of that, do you?
No, just anything that you would think that you would want to have inside little bags so people can take home.
Okay, because we
But
created
nothing, not all
folders.
information, yeah.
Okay, Because I have folders made with all the information in it, but I also have some loose paper as well, like in displays.
You could leave them on your table then.
That's
Right.
what I thought.
Yeah.
So yeah, the loose papers would be good. The folders, I think that's more of you handing it out, because that would be nicer. I don't know. It depends what information you're trying to give. So I don't.
Maybe your business
It's
card
up
with
to
your
you.
cell phone.
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, it's all FEMA. It's all FEMA information. It's National Flood Insurance Policy stuff, CRS stuff, different things like that. Our business cards. If there's any kids that come by, we have some booklets with crayons. I mean, there's like different things. We have some giveaways. We have pens with the city of Port Richey written on them that we can give away. You know, just little things like that. Is that okay?
Okay, for the bags, it would be more like the flyers that maybe, yes, that's fine. And your business cards and stuff for the bags, and then you can give the other things out.
Okay, perfect.
That sounds great.
Okay.
I think probably on the bags, people are going to get a bag because there's a lot of stuff in it, right? They may not come by the table and take something. So if there's anything of real importance, put it in a bag. It'd be the best way to get in their hands. So flyers or what have you. Did you want to share the signs with?
And then I promise to give you guys bags.
What's that, Carolyn?
And I said, I'll promise I'll give you guys bags. I have little bags for you guys.
Oh, okay.
I'll give it to you guys at
Thanks.
the next meeting, or if I see you tomorrow.
So Sal, yeah. So Sal's got signs. Did you want to hold them up? No, if you could.
I thought you saw them.
Have she seen them?
Yeah.
So we got 4 of these, right? To go out on the corners, I
Yep.
guess.
Yep, they'll go out on the corners tonight.
I said bags.
Yeah, we're past that. I was sharing the signs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I moved on from the bags.
I think that we as a committee have to decide who's going to be there to man our table.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Caroline, I got a question. Can you? Do you still need the stickers, the labels, like of the Centennial logo?
If I can offer for the Centennial Festival, I think there will be better.
Okay, because I was going to print them off and bring them tomorrow. I mean, if you don't think you'll need them, then just let me know.
Yeah, no, tomorrow, no, because I thought about it, I think it's better for the Centennial Festival.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Anything else on Expo?
My sister paid $100 for
Debbie,
those
this is
for those
nothing.
things that she
No,
requested. I don't think that.
No. We have to decide who's manning the table.
Right. So, is there any volunteers to man the table?
I'll be there.
And it starts at 3:30.
Yeah, set up as a 2.
Yeah, the expo starts at 3:30, the setup begins at 2. I will be there probably a little bit before 2. And then are we going to have a table where we're going to have the shirts and the coins?
Yes, that's what we're talking about.
That as well, and obviously the sign-ups.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Who's going to man that? So we've got volunteers.
We'll have several people there.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got it covered.
I'm gonna go down there too, so. I'll get
Okay.
All right.
I can come, but I can't come until 3. I have calls I'm to eat.
Yeah.
Well, I'll bring it. We'll bring it because I got to coordinate and bring all the other stuff with them and Public Works. So we'll bring it tomorrow. Mhm. Yep. And
some money.
I just mentioned that to Adam. He'll bring that.
Cool. Anything else on Expo?
Not that I could think of. I think we covered everything.
Thanks, Caroline. Okay, next up is item number 5, update on Mayor's Ball attendees and event. Caroline, do you want to kick that off as well with our meeting, or?
Yes, if you'd like. So, Debbie, Mayor Hoover and Mrs. Hoover and I met with Daphne on Thursday of last week, and it was just to see like exactly where we were going. We saw the vendors. She gave very good input on things we should do. We did speak about food again. Food is coming up. So Daphne was very nice in letting us try the bistro steak with the green beans and the roasted potatoes. So I believe there was an executive decision made that we went with roasted potatoes instead of baked potatoes.
But we didn't make any decision. We're going to make that today. So let me take it from here. So I think we had baked potato down on the menu.
Yes. Yes.
She had the roasted potatoes there, and we tried them. They're really good. And I was wondering what the committee would think on swapping out the baked potato for the roasted potatoes. One thing about the baked potato, obviously, it's you got stuff to put on it, butter, and it's a little easier with roasted potatoes.
That's fine.
Any objections to the roasted potatoes instead of the baked?
Roasted potato sounds a lot easizer
Yeah, it is, and it said, well, I think it's a little cheaper actually too.
and less messy.
Yes, especially if it dressed up.
So, any objections to making that change?
No.
And then the other thing that when we were looking at the food, I think we had chicken marsala as the chicken dish. She had 3 or 4 different chicken dishes. When she was passing the pictures, which unfortunately we didn't get, there was I think it was champagne chicken. Was it champagne chicken? Champagne butter?
Yes, it was a champagne chicken. It looked very good on the.
Yeah, the picture was really good.
You didn't send me the email, but let me see if I could just send it real quick. I'll send
Oh,
it.
did you get the pictures? It looked really nice, sounded really good. I don't know if it was an option.
It was on the list.
Was it?
Oh no, I sent you the
It's
wrong
like
one.
a butter sauce or something. My thought was I like chicken marsala, but it's kind of one of those dishes that you like or you don't like kind of
It
thing.
had mushrooms on it.
And mushrooms on it as well.
That's what it is, and the committee agreed that we were gonna get chicken marsala, so I don't know why this is coming up now, but that's fine.
Well, no, so it was an option. We don't have to change it, but I figure we bring it back and discuss it.
The only thing
What do I do
was
about the
was
people that
because she
already-
was showing
Did somebody people already
I already have people on the list
chicken?
that picked
Well, then we can leave it as
chicken.
chicken.
Yeah.
I didn't know where we were at.
Yeah.
in that,
Oh
so.
my god, well, whatever it was, the buttery one, it looked very, it had a nice presentation to it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I sent you the picture that day.
I didn't get it. But we've already got some people that have signed up for the chicken, so
It's still chicken.
they want chicken marsala. So
The steak is really good.
yeah, we've that's on the menu.
Yeah.
So and the potato was the same.
Potato, yeah.
Which the roasted potatoes probably go better with chicken marsala than a baked potato anyway too. So we'll leave the chicken marsala since we've already got some folks signed up for that.
Oh, I do want to make a comment too. I know one of our appetizers is fried ravioli. I went again. This was just my first time going to Spark Banner for an event. On Saturday, I went and I saw the fried ravioli. It didn't look appetizing, and it was kind of messy. Just putting it out there.
Oh, yes.
I'm trying to think, but I just it didn't look.
So we had
It didn't look
4.
appetizing. I didn't try it. My husband said it was fine, but it was messy because of the red
Did
sauce.
it look overcooked?
But the meatballs have the sauce too. But
We had the meatballs on the.
So we had
meatballs are on
meatballs,
the
fried
list.
ravioli, the
Hummus, I
hummus,
think, and
and
then
then
cheese. And,
cheese plate.
Yeah, so we can substitute something else with the
but y'all, that
fried
sounds great.
ravioli.
But just the ravioli was just I don't know. It didn't look
Okay.
It didn't look good. It looked burnt.
What was the other option?
I'd have to look. I know that there was
There were chicken wings or something.
spanakopita. I think there was
Yeah.
mini quiches and maybe chicken wings.
Yeah, some kind of chicken
I'd
thing.
have to look.
Well, don't get chicken wings.
Well, no, I wouldn't.
I think spanakopita is always nice. Or it's the
And
quiche.
then we discussed about to have either we were just looking at vendors of what we're gonna do, and I have the paper. I just don't have it with me in front of me. We were saying from 6 to about 6:50, 7 o'clock. People coming in, enjoying going around. We want to see how much it is for. It's a champagne, or it could be cider girl. And she has a skirt that you can put the drinks on. We thought about that. We already discussed about the DJ with the lightings and the photo booth. to have also, what do you call that, the wrap in the back that you can take pictures from. It'll say like Mayor's Ball, Centennial Festival,
Like the backdrop,
celebration.
backdrop.
In the background, the backdrop.
Yeah, backdrop.
We discussed. Is that at the top of my
Well, we talked about the tablecloths.
Remember things too.
Okay.
We discussed about the centerpieces with the feathers. Amanda, I for sure is working on that. She's seen pricings and everything. Daphne was going to give us some event planners that would have that to see if it's rental is cheaper than actually doing it ourselves.
Yeah, she mentioned about the centerpieces. There was one that on candlesticks that had a lot of white feathers.
And they rent them out, yeah.
They rent them out because I guess those feathers get real expensive to try to make all those. So she was going to put us in touch with some folks on centerpieces that we could possibly rent. And then
Which would probably be better because what are we going to do with them after the fact?
take them with them. But they don't
But we did think if we had to make them ourselves, we can raffle them off. And that's what we did talk. We talked about the raffle. So we can raffle them off. People can take it home. And we don't have to do anything with it. We did discuss about a silent auction, and we thought it was best to do a raffle. What do you guys think? Because this is my opinion, the silent auction. Honestly, I've never done that. So for me to go and say, oh, 50, 60, things like that, I wouldn't do it. But if it was raffles, if you would give me raffle tickets, I would say definitely, I'll buy tickets. So we were thinking of doing raffle tickets and then laying out all the baskets or whatever it was. Let's say, I'm just giving you an example, like a spa place decided to give a free massage and things like that. We put what the items are, and then people can go ahead and put it in a jar or whatever it is, and then we pick them out and we call the number, and that's the person who won it. That was another idea.
Yeah. So let me take over there, Carolyn. So we talked about having some kind of silent auction or whatever, and when we were talking to Daphne, she had mentioned the other style. You have silent auction, they go by and they write, hey, I'll give you this, and it just kind of goes on. You find it at the end. And then some people sometimes don't bid on certain things that they don't want or whatever, where the ticket style, you basically sell so many tickets, and then they go and they drop them in the thing, and then you have a drawing.
Kind of like a tricky tray, kind of sort of
and
concept,
so
yeah.
she said that works out well, and then if something doesn't have it, they'll drop a ticket in there or whatever. And obviously all the proceeds for that would go to some charity. I was going to fill you in on this. I don't know if we have any ideas for that, but I went to a presentation, Tunnel for Towers. They build the houses for vets and stuff, and there's a development in Pasco County that something about We Do Good is the name of it, but it's Tunnel for Towers, and all the houses in there were built for this, and that's where they were giving away one of those to one of the veterans. Really nice organization. I mean, they really do a lot of good for vets. That's an idea that we could do, or maybe there's a local charity or something here in the city of Richie, but they do some stuff within the area. So that was an idea I had, but we could put together these baskets, if you will, that we do the raffle for.
I had mentioned also Bill Rutherford's charity, the Vet Catch, where he takes out
for the
disabled
kids.
vets.
Does vets?
It's called Vet Catch. He takes them on fishing trips.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm open to anything there. I think we ought to do something.
Absolutely. She thought that the DJ was too much money, and that we should try to talk to them to see if we could. She really thought that
we already have a contract, and the deposit was already given to him.
She thought that was outrageous.
But it's not just for the DJ; it's the photo booth and the uplighting.
She I don't know. She just said it was outrageous, and she was the one that
she recommended him.
I know. As I was saying.
And I did my due diligence. So I called 10 other DJs, and he was actually not only was he one of the cheapest, he responded, and not only that, he was one of the only ones that was licensed and insured as well. So there was also that aspect of it.
Yeah. So I don't like I said, I don't know why she brought that up.
I don't know either.
Especially if she's the one that recommended
him. Yeah.
I didn't know that to the end. She said, well, I recommended it.
Yeah.
So I think we're good on that. But
He is a little pricey, but I did at the wedding that I went to on Saturday, he was actually very good. He played what obviously the couple wanted, but then after he was taking requests, and I mean, he had everybody dancing. There was not really, maybe one song or something that people were just tired and they weren't on the floor, but he had everybody dancing. So
Oh.
he is.
this is the same.
Really good.
This is the same guy.
The music flowed. It wasn't anything awkward. So it is worth it. He was pricey also for the Centennial Festival, but I believe we're going with Larry for that. Larry the DJ or Diane. Yes, I think it's both. But I did see him, and I think, I mean, now that we get deposits and everything, I don't know if it's worth it to go and say, hey, you know, can you be cheaper? Because again, like Kim said, the availability and everything for everybody and licensed and insured, and I mean, he was very good, and his setup was good. Maybe we can tell him to dress, you know, to the theme, but the setup, he had a clean setup, and it was nice. So I just want to put that out there as well.
What was the colors that you wanted? Because we were talking about the black tablecloth, and
Gold napkin.
Yeah. So that's so they.
yeah,
Black
that's
tablecloth
good.
and gold napkin.
Yeah. So she has all the black tablecloths, the gold napkins, and the
Gold
chair she
chairs.
had was the gold
Yep, she was
chairs.
doing the gold chairs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It matches like the rug.
Yeah, all their carpet in there is black and gold too, so it looks real nice. She actually showed a picture that they did a 20s type thing that set up. It looked good. So we took care of the potato item, left the chicken as it is. It sounds like the decorations are all good.
We got
The
to swap
DJ
out the ravioli.
They got swap out the ravioli, and then we'll proceed on the centerpieces and stuff to see how that turns out. Whether we rent, buy, whatever. I think there was money in a budget to cover some of those if we made them right.
Yes.
So
Not for the tables. No.
so
And the little dances that are coming, so like they were saying that the little dancers were going to come, and then maybe after they dance, then
What little dancers?
oh,
Oh yes.
what little
What
dancers?
little dancers?
The dancers from Stardust Ballrooms, I reached out to them, and they have some dancers that they can bring. They're professional ballroom dancers, so they can do like 1920s theme. I still have to coordinate with them, but they offered that they would go, and then we would have also Matt, who is part of the Citizen Advisory Committee. He's a member. He would do a magic show as well, 30-minute table magic show as people are eating and mingling.
okay, so on entertainment options, there was the idea brought up have a dance exhibition with these folks or whatever, and then Matt could go around table and do magic tricks. They kind of had it at Newport Richie's Centennial Festival as well. Is there? I don't know what all entertainment wise is set up, but if there's any objection to that,
When are they going to perform? We also have the piano player too from 6 to 7.
when people are coming in,
Yes.
right? And so I assume so. She kind of went over how it would run. You have people from 6 to 7 coming together, and then they would start to take their seats about 6:45 in the ballroom. They would. I'm assuming we have some kind of presentation, whether I speak.
I started the
Kind of
itinerary
opening,
for you to do opening.
There'd be
comments.
a section either front, middle, or end, maybe at the end where we do sponsorship presentations. I'm assuming, are we putting together little things for the sponsors? I know I talked to Matt about it, but I don't know if I brought it to the committee. So Newport Richie had these little awards that had the logo on it. I wonder if I got a picture that I can show.
It's not done yet. I started it.
Give me just a second. Did you guys have anything set for that already for sponsors gifts?
I did not.
Okay.
No.
Let's talk about that then. Let's see. I'm trying to find it.
What's our time on this?
Here we go.
You said we were allowed to have those two antique cars right outside. Tell me about those. I'm trying to think about things better on the paper.
I'll share this. Yeah, somebody-
Pictures next to the cars?
Yes.
And we let it outside.
They're gonna be right outside by like where the sign is, right where you walk in.
Yes, when you're walking into the left, in that little, where, next to the grass by Spartan Manor. We're also looking for, I can't say it, caricature artist.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's another option that we're looking into.
Oh, crud.
Carolyn had Florida Blue about a year ago that did caricatures. You might want to touch base with Omar and see if he has that person's information. Did she hear you? I don't know.
Do we have any?
Yes, I heard.
Do we have any pricing on any of this, or no? Are we? Is he charging for the magic show?
No.
No. So that's complimentary.
Mhm.
And how much?
So if well, he's already getting the ticket for free because he's on the
Right.
committee. So
The ballroom dancing. How much was that going to be? The ballroom
I
dance.
don't think they were charging us for that. I just have to make sure.
Okay.
so
Like the cars, I don't think they were gonna charge us for the cars either.
We have to feed the people though, the car people.
Most likely, yes.
No, we have to feed the car people.
Yes.
okay. So if you guys look at the screen, so this was at Newport Richie's Centennial Masquerade Ball, and you see they had these little trophies. And I'll zoom in on one, but they had the logo on it. They had something, the title there. So ours would be the Mayor's Ball with whatever thing in it. If we did summer type thing, and then they had the sponsor name, and if you see that there's a silver sponsor. Thought I had. There's another one on here, but anyway, the level of goes to gold sponsor there. So they had the level of sponsorship on there. We don't have to do something like this, but I think we need to put something together to hand out as we recognize them. Send them home with something.
At least a plaque that they can hang on the lobby office wall or something.
Mm-hmm. And actually, I don't know what was that. They said car show. Maybe we could talk to TJ about those same, and maybe do something with the acrylic or whatever, and just put that on there. I don't know.
That'd be cool.
Are we giving to everybody or just
The sponsors.
actual true sponsors, not just the in-kind or?
Well, total sponsors we've got,
21, I believe. Give me a second. I need your count.
and I, we could do something different
Are those plates?
for like the bigger sponsors, and maybe a smaller type thing for the smaller sponsors.
Are those plates?
They're I think they were just
Cash sponsors.
Cash sponsors.
And then we have
like a plate. I think it was more of just like a round
23.
thing with a logo on it. See, they have this other one. So I think they had different levels. They had like something framed to hang on the wall, and then these these were more sit on your desk. So maybe gold and silver. These, and they had all their other smaller sponsors, a little something different. So anyway, up for debate, obviously, but I think we need to have a section of the ball where we recognize our sponsors. They're going to be in a program, obviously, but if we give them
I
something.
think do something like the acrylic that says gold or silver, whatever
Yeah.
tier they are for those, but the ones that are small, like 500 or less, and then the in kind.
We just maybe it's a plaque they can hang on the wall or something.
Right, but just one of the cheap black frame things that
Right.
like you put your graduation certificate or whatever, field day winner kind of thing. But just recognize them.
So the way they did it is these were just sitting out in the hallway. They didn't have any kind of formal presentation during the event. It was just, I guess they picked up on the way out. But I thought it'd be nice if we actually took some time during the program to recognize them by name.
At least the top two.
Yeah.
And you could present them with
Right.
whatever we're going to be giving them. What's the status also? You had thought about running pictures of mayors?
Oh, so
That
I mentioned
slideshow
before,
thing.
I don't know if a slideshow to play in the corners of going through the mayors of all the different, starting with first all the way up to the current. And I didn't know if we get pictures or not.
Have pictures? I thought we were going to run what we ran at History and Heritage Day. That
We could run that too.
PowerPoint. Do you even have pictures of all the mayors?
Pictures of all the mayors? No, I don't have.
There's several on that one, not the old site, but the one that they did off of that. What's the name of that site? I'm thinking of 5A.org. They moved over to the historic site. And there's some pictures out there. Not all of them.
The PowerPoint from History and Heritage
I think we
Day.
should run that too. And the pictures of maybe sprinkle in the pictures of the mayors.
Let me see if I can pull that up. I think it's here. Yeah, let me share again. So the westpascomuseum.org. So they've got some are really old that they have. There's Gap and there's intermixed within here. So I don't know if we could get the other ones, but it would be nice to have a slideshow where we, even if we didn't have a picture, have a placeholder, have their name, the years they served, just kind of roll through.
Which is that the 5A.org?
No, this is the westpascomuseum.org site that basically migrated everything over from 5A. I don't know that 5A had pictures, to be honest. I think they just listed names. So there's some pictures out here, and I don't know if maybe the city has pictures in the archives of.
We'd have to look, and that'd be a lot. That's a lot of research time. That's going to take to sort through all the paper clippings and everything we have to try and find photographs.
Yeah, well,
it's a short amount of time that we have. So.
Yeah, well, so I mean, like I say, if we have a picture out here, we could do that, and then put the name and time frame.
I mean, maybe we can Google each name and see if there's a photo out there somewhere. Maybe.
How far does that go back?
All the way beginning.
It's from the start? Okay.
Yeah, so let's just take Charles F. Hoffman and see if there's something comes up.
Where else do you have some money that you talk about and discuss?
I need a head count from everybody on the committee who's going to be there and what you want to do.
I don't know if that was him or not.
Sal actually sent out a reminder email to all the committee members. to remind them to make sure that they.
Answer you.
Guys, if we're gonna talk, can we please turn on your microphone?
It's on.
Not,
Oh,
yeah.
I did not get an email.
you didn't.
I probably didn't include the Centennial Committee, but I mean, I included all the other boards and committees.
Did they respond back? Have we got a list going?
Yeah, I have a list going.
We have few responses, yes, but not a big list. It's Debbie Mann from Newport Richie.
Right, just got that today.
She just
Assuming Chalker's going to go, but he didn't
Yeah.
respond yet.
Did he? We sent out invitations then.
Vice Mayor just responded today. Seth Cap responded, but unfortunately, he can't attend.
Carl Roth can't attend. Joe Parisi can't attend.
Yeah.
The fire chief from Pasco cannot attend. Brian Corley cannot attend. I don't have the list in front of me, but that's just who I'm remembering off the top of my head.
So you got a list where
I
you
have
check
a
them
whole
off?
running list going. Okay. I have yeses and nos, just so I'm keeping track of everybody who we gave.
Well, maybe bring that next meeting so we can go through that. We should have some more detail.
I can add it to our budget here, so we know what we got.
Yeah, we'll kind of figure out where we're at cost wise.
Right.
When does she need the final number of people who are coming?
Next Wednesday.
Did Matt respond?
No. But he'll be there.
I think so.
We're gonna discuss employees.
Yeah, we need to discuss that.
Oh yeah, the lottery thing.
Well, the lottery unfortunately did not get off the ground, so we have to think of other options if we're going to include employees or not. So
At least department heads, I would think.
I mean, we did have several that can't
go, right?
So,
correct. So that opened up quite a few of that. Yes.
So yeah, I would say department heads for sure.
so you want to extend an invitation to department heads?
Any objections
and guest, or how are we doing that? Both them and guest, or them and them and 100%?
So as employees, the original thing was what we did 50% off.
The lottery, the employee would have been free and the guest would have been free.
Right. But what's our current thing for employees that we have now? It was 50% off, I think, wasn't it? Or was it?
It was only discussed on
It
the
was
lottery.
only 10,
You guys never finalized anything else.
It was going to be 10.
No, we had pricing for employees at 50% off. I thought.
It was the lottery.
No, that was free.
I think the lottery happened afterwards because we did. I think we tried
We
50%.
did talk about, yes,
we
you're
tried
correct.
50% first, and we didn't get any responses. So then we talked about doing a lottery, and then that didn't get off the ground. So we're still kind of like in limbo with that.
So really, nobody's coming?
Well, no, I mean we have some responses. I mean, like I said, our committee obviously. We have some members of council. I expect the other few members of council to respond. Obviously, like I said, Debbie Mans from Newport Richie will be there. As far as our dignitary list,
we haven't anybody
except for Mike Moore, our lobbyist. He's the only one that's responded from that list. So
we've only had a couple that declined. We're still waiting to hear.
Yeah, we're waiting to see the others. So. Do we want to? Can we extend the cutoff time?
When was the RSVP?
I'll ask her. It was supposed to be Friday, but that was just because I wanted to have enough time.
So our RSVP, the stuff we sent out,
was this Friday, the 2nd.
Oh, so it's still this week they can respond.
Yes.
Yeah. You still have this week.
He said we're just supposed to have a, Daphne said, I think it was May 2nd, this Friday. However, she said that's just for food purposes. So she goes, you can have it the day of. They just need to know how many we're gonna have so they can have enough food.
Yeah, she told me.
But that's what she told us. So.
Yeah, she said you could always add more. So as they came in. So. Okay. Well, where are we at on the mayor's ball, I guess. So we need to go through the list, obviously, next meeting
Mhm.
and solidify that. And then Wednesday of next week is when you got to give her the count, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll get that next meeting. Do we have a program?
I'm working on
We're gonna,
it.
okay,
Yes.
maybe bring that next
Yep.
week too. Okay.
And I have the itinerary too that I'm working on.
Okay.
So.
As far as sponsorship stuff to give out, is there any objections to doing something like that? I'm assuming not, right? Is it,
No, as long as we can get it in time, I don't see.
any ideas on that?
Are you talking about the little trophy things you're talking about?
Yeah.
No,
I think something to hang on the wall,
Plaques.
the plaque,
Like a small
for
plaque.
the lower level sponsors. I think something a little bit more nicer for the big ones.
We'd have to get this going.
Matter of fact, for the
Like
presenting
tomorrow.
sponsor, I think we ought to really do something really nice.
I'm a Honda.
Maybe not quite that nice, but but I like the way you're thinking.
Even if they're not done by the mayor's ball, I mean, it's still something.
We can give them a
That's what I'm saying.
certificate in the meantime if it's not done.
I think that's probably going to be a better idea. We can always we can issue out that at a later time and bring it we can bring it and deliver it to them,
Mhm.
For all their participation and help. It doesn't have to
And
actually
do
happen.
like
Right.
the
Because none of our
certificate
other
like on
sponsors
the,
will probably be there. The only sponsor that'll be there is Ocean Honda.
Right.
So if we want to do something
If they-
specifically for them,
They're coming with a table, right?
I actually just emailed her again today to give me her list of people and what they're going to have for dinner. I haven't heard back yet, but they obviously know that they have a table for them.
Yeah.
So
I think you could have a meeting of this committee afterwards and invite all of the sponsors and do a presentation that way rather than drive around and just, here's your stuff. I think it would be a little bit nicer having all the sponsors here.
Well, worst case,
Together.
I'll hand deliver them all.
yeah,
So
that would be nice.
and I'll personally thank them. So
So we're not, so,
Yeah,
so,
but I-
so should we do like certificates in the meantime and then order something? Because I don't know, that's a short time frame to get 20,
I think
what did you
we
say,
should get
23?
all of the same thing, but just
Yeah,
different
23, 24. He said
sizes,
24.
24, yeah.
which would make it
Well, the
easier for
plaques, when you
ordering.
did the plaque for Tom, what was the turnaround on that?
Almost a month.
Oh, is that right? Wow.
do you think we could get a couple of the acrylics
Well, those are nice. If
just for the top two, and then just hand out certificates to everybody, and then go around with something a little more later? Because obviously those are not that expensive.
That's a good
and they've already got the logo kind of.
That just stands it out a little bit without costing a ton of money. I'm just throwing it out there.
So you probably just change some of the words on there, and we could do that possibly.
And you can get a bigger size.
Mm-hmm.
should we talk to TJ about that?
Yeah. Can somebody reach out to him?
I'm just saying, just for the top two at least.
Are you writing because you're gonna reach out to him?
Yes. I don't see a lot of other writing, so
If I had a pen, I'd write.
that's why I'm
Hey,
writing.
I'll do it. What's his name?
So we talking about
I wish he's still here. I would have.
So
for just
Ocean
Ocean
and then
developer,
Cody River.
Lending developers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. And then do we have a 5,000 or just?
We had no, just
We had
So
a
we
20
had
and a
20,
10,
a 10, and then we had
The
2,500.
Well, the 5,000 was in kind. I don't think we ever accessed it. Was the boat charter? I think that was 5,000.
it was.
Mm-hmm.
When the city gave 10,000.
Right.
I'll take that.
You wanted to build it for you?
Yeah, please.
I'm gonna
Okay.
put it in your office.
Yeah.
If you could draft a
You wanna just
proclamation
extract it?
specifically for Adam before you leave. Mike.
Yeah, finance director of the year would be great.
Slip like a picture of your
Add your
face.
picture, that'd be great.
Okay.
Ashley has volunteered to take care of that for you. I'm really looking forward to that one.
I am too.
I'm sorry you have to sit next
Nothing
to him.
happened with
Okay.
Walmart, right? You swear. $1,000 with Walmart, nothing happened.
I don't know what I did in my life to deserve this.
So Walmart's been a little. It's been difficult. They won't donate 5,000 until you're inside of. You have to do grant process, and
All right, the 1,000. Did we have
Yeah.
an update on that?
we're still working on that.
Okay.
Yeah, you haven't. Every time we give them what they need, they ask for something else, and we just it's almost like it's not worth it though.
Right.
But we're still working on it.
Okay.
No, they should give us something. Walmart.
They're giving us
Their parking lot.
Okay. Anything else on Mayor's Ball?
Not unless Caroline has something.
Caroline, do you have anything on Mayor's Ball?
No,
Have we thought about hiring like a decorator to just come in and decorate it themselves?
Were you just not sitting here?
Was that? Did we talk about that?
We've been working on that.
Oh, okay.
And actually, Spartan Manor does most of that for us. They have all the chairs, the tablecloths. We just got to come up with centerpieces.
Sorry, I was writing down the budget while y'all were talking about that. You know?
Okay. Moving right along. Item number 6, discussion on Centennial Festival celebration events, the vendors. So we go ahead, Sal.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say last week there was some confusion on pricing for the vendors. I know we need to hash that out. So I'll turn it over to you, Sal.
I mean, I'm fine either way if we're allowed to extend the courtesy of waiving the fees for vendors for both events. I mean, it's kind of, and we'd have to check. I just want to make sure we have that authority as well to do that. I mean, if we're going to do it for the tents and whatnot, maybe we should do it for the trucks as well. To me, it's not, it's not a non-starter. We're not talking about a large amount.
Well, the trucks,
to do
how
that.
much is the fee for the
100 for trucks.
Yeah.
right? I don't know, but I mean, how much is it for the inspection?
Well, technically,
Well, it's in the fee.
it would be the same fee across the board. That's what we're talking about. So if
Not the crafters, but the food truck, that inspection.
The fire inspection,
Yes,
it'd be 100,
that's okay.
it's included.
Across the
for
board.
everybody.
right?
Oh no, I know,
even-
but that's
even
what
the-
we
even
had
the-
talked
well,
about.
Even the vendors
And
would
that's-
be 100.
Right, even the crafters and the vendors, technically they should be 100 as well because they would have to be spaced apart, inspected, just in case if some of them are selling food or some of them are whatnot. That technically they should. But if we're going to extend for the crafters and the smaller tents, it should be extended across the board. But once again, I just like I said, I don't know if we have that authority as the Centennial Committee to do that. So maybe that question has to be raised to council to see if that's allowed. I don't know. I'm just bringing that up.
So
If it doesn't have to, that I'm fine with it either way.
it doesn't cost the city. I mean, it's our fire department doing the inspections, right? So it's our staff time. So it's not like we're paying real dollars out to another company to do something. So if we waive the fee, it's just we're eating it on the salary side, right? Is that
Well, I'm assuming that it's not going to be it's not going to be a firefighter that's on duty. It's going to be our fire person, right?
would be on the weekend? That's right. So that's,
Right. So, I mean, we're going to be paying someone to be there to do that. So there's a cost.
right.
Both days, Saturday and Sunday.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying is, or if we want to decide, on the trucks only, because the trucks, technically propane generators, we
And
can.
they used to be. They used to.
I think the inspection happens.
Oh yeah, it's got to
Your
happen.
inspection
No, that,
happens.
yeah, it's got to happen one way or the
Okay, I
other.
just wanted to make.
I'm just talking about the fee
Yeah.
itself. I know they have to happen,
Yeah.
just for safety reasons. So
We can streamline it where it's not as expensive in terms of because I've done some places. Inspection happens at whatever the time is, so everyone has to be set up and ready at that time. So they just walk down and do everything. They're out probably in an hour, 2 hours tops.
And it's probably a couple $100, I would imagine. If like that. I'm not sure what the salary is, but
I mean, again, it just depends. If we have the right people on duty at the time, you may be there's no cost.
Right.
But if we have to bring in someone, then there's a cost. But again, it's not a couple hours, $100. 200.
so is there any objection to providing that free?
I have an objection to it, but
Not surprising.
Yeah.
So I have one objection.
One objection.
Any others?
I object to that too.
Okay, 2 objections. So
My reasoning though is because the money that's collected from that not only is supposed to go towards the inspection fee, but it's supposed to go back to maintenance of the park.
Mhm.
And that's based on the Florida Communities Trust grant.
Right.
So that's my reason why I would say no.
No, it's yeah. I mean, we're eating that cost, and we're aware of that. And you know, you're right. He's right. You know, but the issue at hand is, you know, we're a few weeks out. We have this issue with 20 some odd tents and craft vendors, and then we have the food trucks, and you know, for development services to tell one to charge and then not the other, that's you know, the inspections have to happen, but you know, we can't. We have, you know, and I think moving forward, if we plan on doing more events in the future, which I'm sure we do, we need to set these standards, you know, in writing, so then, you know, that department can, you know, basically look at the ordinance and look at the, you know, look what the code says and says, look, for this, you know, this is how much it is, and that's it. Instead of
You're
having a
looking
situation
at,
like that.
you know, the only thing I'm looking at is, you know, this isn't someone coming in and doing a magic show for us for 30 minutes and we're making them do that. They're going to make money.
Right.
So, I mean, it's a cost of doing business. So, and it's not a large fee.
well, so on the we don't charge for the tent vendors. It's just the food trucks. Because I mean,
Everybody,
It would be, let's discuss across the board.
each vendor.
Each vendor, because they're selling stuff
It's supposed to
too.
go back into the park based on the grant from the Florida Communities Trust.
okay, so community markets event, we collect a $90 fee for the use of the park, right?
But
And then she
they charge.
right. She charges per, but that's not the city.
Right.
She only charges
So-
like $20 a table.
We're talking about city costs here. We do. She does the food trucks as well, but again, that's her organization. So if we put it on, if we're only charging $90 for somebody else to do something, why do we?
You're thinking it wrong. See, we're charging an organization to use the park.
Right.
Right. And you're making a great argument for a higher rate. I'm just saying, so keep up.
Right.
I
get that.
But now it's something that's put on by the city, right? And so we pass those costs of the operation onto the vendors so they can participate. And typically 100,
Yes.
right? 100, so it covers that. And the problem here again is we've said to some people that they're not going to be charged, where the other people were saying we're going to be charging. So,
right.
I guess when we discussed it earlier, what we had talked about, because it was originally supposed to be like a flea market. So it's pretty much like yard sale people that really aren't going to be making any money.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it was, we were talking zero cost. Started.
Well, I thought it was like $10 for just.
Well, I think we started there, and then we just decided it just was worth it to just eat that. But and that was just for that one thing, and then just we kind of had to combine things, and so we decided to kind of keep that free. But it never got officially voted on. Is where the issue was there. But the problem is because that assumption carried. And then the people got told that it was going to be free, and they're not going to be there if it's not. And that was just for the Saturday one. Everybody on the Sunday one knew it was going to be, you know, that because that was supposed to be the upper scale, where these were just the flea market style and little home crafters that bring in like a table that they might make $20. So,
well, I guess
different style.
What do we have, Caroline? Do you have a list of vendors that confirmed? And what they are?
I've been sending them to Ashley. I do have a list. The ones that I spoke with, I sent them the forms, and
so I guess what do we have?
The forms back, and I forwarded them to Ashley. My issue is that my understanding was from that meeting when we changed the time, like Julie, was that food trucks were going to be charged, but like craft vendors and stuff like that were not going to be charged. So I went ahead and I had told them, yeah, it's free. So we're gonna be charging them now. It's not gonna make us look good, but it is what it is. So I think but we need to make a decision today because we have it already coming up. So I've been sending it to Ashley. The people that I've been sending to Ashley, for the exception of a few, they think it is for free. So they may back out if we say it's $100 or whatever it is.
Right.
How many's on the list?
I have roughly about 23.
Just regular vendors or food trucks?
I think it's both, but I think I only have 2 that are not food.
And that's for Saturday or Sunday?
So we split it up among so that we didn't have duplicates on both days. So I have about 7 or 8 for each day. And then I had some car show stuff thrown in here too. So I have about probably a little bit more, probably 10 and 10.
Carolina, is there any of those in the list? Food trucks specifically?
Oh yeah.
That you said there's no cost?
In my list, no. My list, food trucks, there wasn't any. There is one food truck one but it was for May 18th. That there were the 2 something of soul foods that I forwarded to Ashley. But other than that, I didn't have any food trucks. Mine were just vendors.
2 grandma's soul food.
Yes, but they were for the 18th. I don't know how they got my information, but they were trying to go for the 18th, the Centennial celebration, not the Centennial Festival.
So correct me if I'm wrong, there's been no food truck type of vendor told that they could come for no charge. Correct?
The food truck type of vendor, no. What happens, like the cookie lady, the bread lady.
Right, those individuals.
There's a cafe.
Right.
But coffee, but they don't sell the actual coffee made. I don't think so. But it's not food truck. It's Florida cottage law type of business.
So
I'm actually coming into the city hall now, so I'm here. I'll be there in 2 minutes.
Okay. So we've got 2 tiers. We've got regular vendors and we've got food truck vendors. It sounds like there's several vendors, non-food truck vendors, that have been told free of charge.
Yeah.
Okay, and there's 20 some of them, and then we've got some food trucks. Do we have how many food trucks we have in that mix? Oh, lots of
I have 21.
food trucks.
19.
There was quite a few inquiries.
I have quite a bit.
Yeah.
And that's split between the 2 days or just the one?
Between the 2, well, we split them up. When Sal and I met on Friday, we split them up, some for May 17th and some for May 18th.
And then where there's
so
a
that
charge,
you didn't
right?
have to.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Right now, I'm just collecting all of their paperwork
Let's just
to complete their application.
So that's what I would, and I guess you make a good point. So let's use cookie lady as an example. She's gonna be selling cookies. Now, they're probably not going to be eaten there. They're purchased to take with you, the same as other stuff or whatever. So it's not really a direct competition with people that are serving up burgers and all that stuff. It's a little different. But I guess the individual tents probably stand and not make a lot of money, whereas the food trucks probably would be definitely making money because people would be buying and drinking and stuff like that. So
keep in mind that we still have to keep the revenue that those cottage food vendors make.
By all means, they still need to report the numbers.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was just wondering.
So if you have, sorry.
Let's say you have 5 people that you told, and then did they really sign up, and did they not? They're not going to pay, but they signed up. So maybe we could just let them go, but then maybe
you can't.
You
can't do that.
you can't do that.
Why would you be mad if you found out that you didn't have to pay and somebody did?
Somebody else did.
Or you had to pay and somebody else didn't? That's why the food trucks can be separated out. The question is, do we go? I think why don't we do this? Let's start with the non-food trucks. Somebody want to make a motion? Want one way or another?
I'll make a motion that we charge the non-food trucks, not charge the non-food trucks, and charge the food trucks.
Let's stick with the non-food trucks first. Just,
I make a motion we don't charge them.
okay. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Motion second. Any discussion on that? Okay. Is there any public comment?
So when we say non-food trucks, just to clarify, we're talking
Cottage vendors tents.
cottage vendors tent, table. It doesn't matter what they're selling. So like you said, either
Lemonade would count as that as well.
right. So if someone is in a tent selling beverages, or they're in a tent selling a cooler full of like ice cream cups, that's all okay because of them being in the tent, the table. That's what we're saying.
Yes.
Okay, just to clarify.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Okay. Motion carries.
I also make a motion that we charge the food trucks the fee for inspection, just the food trucks.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. Motion and second. Any further discussion on that?
I'm okay with that.
Okay. At the price of 100, right? The regular price.
Whatever. we didn't
It's
discuss about going-
it's 100. It's
Yeah.
flat.
Okay.
Okay,
flat
yes,
fee.
regular price.
Any public comments? Okay. Seeing none, bring it back for a vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Motion carries.
Does that need to go to council too, or?
So let me ask a question, Matt. Based on that, the committee decided to charge food trucks regular 100. Not an issue. The only question is from the non-food truck vendor that we're waiving those costs. Does that need to go to council for adoption, or can you?
Especially the council set
The rate? Probably not. I don't know. So if you can look at that, and we can take that up on next Tuesday. If we,
I'm setting up.
I hope you sell a lot of stuff.
what are you selling?
Antiques.
Antiques. All right. Okay.
Well, I think the important thing is we want people to be.
We want to have a successful
Yes. And I
event.
think this is the way you do it. And I mean, charging somebody $100 that's selling woodworking crap is not.
Right.
Now we're going to have, because we're having fireworks now, we're going to have a lot of people there. So I don't think you're going to have an issue. But again, depending on what you're selling, if you're bringing your imprinted mugs and stuff,
Right.
you're probably not going to sell a whole lot of them. Maybe you will. But there's certain things that
So
sell,
this is
certain
for the
things that don't.
17th and the 18th.
That's correct.
The non-food and then the
Vendors there, obviously, and a good portion of them, and hopefully they'll do well. But the food trucks, obviously, they'll pay like they
I think
always
they'll
have.
make more money, the food trucks will.
I think we need to have because maybe some called the city and some didn't, and I'm sure we're probably going to have more show than who have called already. I think we need to record everyone that's there and at least find out, follow back up with them, and get a revenue amount, either tent or food truck. That way we can do our recording with the state and have that done. And then maybe later on, which I think we're already looking into doing that, is setting more ground rules for tents, trucks, everything. So it's more even across the board, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So all of them still need to fill out the vendor form, though, right?
At the very
That's what
least,
we're
we need to have them fill that out so we can contact
Okay.
them after the fact
Yeah,
and
yes.
get
So
get that information.
Because I've been
One
sending them.
question though, so like the rental, do they also fill out a vendor form? Like for the inflatables and the dunk tank?
They do.
Oh, we're contracting with them.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm asking.
Is that
I don't
just a
know
rent? That's just a
the
rent.
rules.
Those are rentals from them.
Correct. Just a rental. They drop them off and come back and pick them up.
No, because if we rented, like we're renting the porta potties, we wouldn't have the company.
That's what I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
because
We
we're
do have a vendor though, just so you're aware. Sorry. We do have a vendor. It's called Off the Wall Trampoline and Gaming Center. So I emailed them because I don't know if they're trying to donate something for the event or they're going to house something there. Like, I don't know.
Do they have like a tent that they're going to sell their services?
I don't know. So I emailed them just to get some more information because I'm not, this is my first time coming to this, so I'm not familiar with everything. But so
We're here for
there
Tuesday.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tuesday all the time.
Yeah, we'd love to have you.
Here. There is.
Feels
one
like forever.
And there's a face painter that submitted tonight as well.
Okay.
So that's also, you've got about 24. But like I said, Sal and I, we try to split them up, half for one day, half for the other day, so you didn't have duplicates. But like,
I have
good
two,
idea.
I have
Might
two
be ours,
questions.
I
My
don't know.
first,
Oh, hold on. Go ahead.
I have two questions. One is, what happens if I want to be on both days?
If you, as a vendor?
Yeah.
You going to be on both
Yes.
days?
And
Thank you.
also, my second question is Sal and Veronica are determining which day. Well, what happens if I want to come on Saturday and not on Sunday? Or I can't come on Sunday,
There's a
but I want to
reason.
come on Saturday because Sunday is a bigger event because you're having fireworks and all kinds of other stuff.
If we had more time to do that, then we would work that out. But unfortunately, we only have so much time to do this. So yes, I sat with Veronica and worked out which vendor should attend each event. If a vendor wants to attend both days, we're allowing that. Okay. If they want to say, well, we'll work both days, that's where we're letting them know that they're allowed to do both days.
Are they going to pay
But as
twice
far
like a
as-
food truck?
Huh?
Was a food truck going to pay for 2 days then?
Yeah, they're gonna pay for both because they have to be
Okay,
inspected on both
I'm
days.
just throwing out questions because
And-
these things haven't been discussed.
One at a time, please. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead. You're good.
Sorry, it's not my business.
No, she was interrupting.
I was just explaining how we selected that. So we didn't just randomly select. We went through their menus of what they serve, and that's how we chose. But yes, I'm going to email them back and find out because most of these applications do say May 18th.
Yeah.
So changing the date to the 17th may interfere with something else they have going on. But until I get responses and I figure that out, and then I will let Sal know so that he can bring it to you all so that you can discuss. So I don't think they're opposed to having them
The
here on
original
both
intent
days.
was to hopefully have them stay for both.
I mean, if I was a vendor, I would want to be on Saturday, not
Okay.
or on Sunday, not on Saturday
the
when
bigger
the, when the fireworks. is.
returners from Boom on the Bayou were getting preference of which day or
got
both
first-
days.
they got first
They got first
preference.
Yeah.
preference, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
'cause they
so because
came
they were
last time.
Boom on the Bayou. Yeah.
Just
Okay.
Yes, when people reached out to me, I provided them several dates that included food trucks and vendor options. When I sent the applications, I let them know that it doesn't guarantee a spot because there might be duplicates when I send the application. I think it's good that all vendors that participate in these events should fill out an application regardless, so we know who was all there, and just for history.
Sure.
But again, I when people contacted me because I was the main source to filter, I gave them multiple days to put, and they put their specific date on the application of where they want to attend.
But we're
And
speaking
didn't specify that it wasn't guaranteed that they would get it.
And it was also on the flyer that went out on
Correct.
Facebook. It says it was not a guarantee.
Right.
But for food trucks, we're just talking about food trucks because crafts is for craft.
It was
Right, food trucks.
everybody.
Well, everybody.
I think everyone who is a vendor at these events should fill out an application regardless.
Sure.
No, of course, but I have people that, like the Centennial, I've seen that they put May 17th. Are those gonna be put for May 17th? Like Lola's Books or something like that. There's vendors that I spoke with that they want the
But they need,
17th.
but they need to fill out an application
Yeah, and
and
I've been
actually
sending
show interest, because I've had a lot of people contact me and ask and submit about interest, but have not replied.
But I've
had
sent you some,
a
right?
lot- No,
I've sent you?
I haven't. Well, yes, I'm sorry.
Applications,
The
yeah.
applications, yes, those have been
Yes.
forwarded.
Okay,
But anybody who has contacted me that were interested,
yeah, that's the
I
same
have
thing.
sent applications to them, but everything that I have gotten back has been forwarded to Veronica.
So I think there is a confusion in the sense of, because like Julie and I, we're working on the Centennial Festival. So when I'm telling people about vendors, it's for Centennial Festival.
Which is a Saturday.
Right. But then if Veronica and Sal are vetting them, and
The
there's
food
like, oh,
trucks.
but I
So-
know, but they just said everybody.
We haven't gotten. We've only gotten most of the. There's only what 2 or 3 that are not food trucks. How many are not food trucks?
Out of all the applications I have, I only have 3 that want May 17th. Everybody else has asked,
So-
now, and nothing has been sent. So if you want me to allow them all to be here on both days.
So the booth vendors that was just for Saturday. It wasn't for
That's what we were
Saturday, Sunday.
supposed- that's
The
what
food
I-
trucks is what was going to be,
That's
could be
what I
both
was
days.
thinking.
That's what we assumed.
'Cause
But
we don't,
I think things
I
have
mean, we're
changed.
gonna
That's what we
we're gonna have fireworks and stuff going on Sunday. You don't want all those vendors out there
Right.
because we got a lot of people there.
I know.
So it's a different.
That's why we're. That's why we're confused.
And then it's
That's why
like,
we're confused.
Well, and part of the confusion is because obviously this event was supposed to take place in the past.
yeah,
right?
because
So
I started
Well,
marketing
we-
for the 17th with Chasco and with the community.
Right.
market.
Saturday is the day for the
Parade,
tent vendors
parade, and the parade.
and the parade.
I think to clear things up so we don't lose sight. So what they're trying to balance between Saturday and Sunday are just
Food trucks, not the other vendors.
right.
So then how do we work that out? Like if I have a list of vendors that I have that I've been sending applications and things, then do I
Saturday's
keep-
their day.
Right, so I
Whatever
keep
their
that
day
list
is.
and then I just give them the
Well,
application.
they fill the application and do all the things
Yeah,
to
they
do.
just have to put their date on
The
there.
17th.
That's
And
all.
then who's setting up? Because the thing is, like I went to the park yesterday and I was looking at all the spots and everything, and I have like the runaways, and I guess they have to fill out a application too. The runaway rescue and SPCA. I didn't think about them. I just thought about them right
I
now.
think everybody
Yeah.
should.
They should.
If,
Okay,
if
so
you're gonna be in a park in a tent, you need to fill
Yeah.
out.
so there's certain areas that I was thinking that we can put them, like the dog park and stuff, have the animals there. But then who's doing that? It's like is Julie and I doing that, like the floor plan and the setup.
That was my next question is
Yeah.
Yeah.
who's gonna lay
Because if it's-
out the spots?
Right, because we'll know the vendors and we'll be like, hey, here we're gonna have this, and
So-
we're gonna have that.
I'll think what my answer is that you guys are in charge of that. It would be you guys doing the layout.
Right. That's
I've
what
been
I
working on the 18th.
so.
I've
So we're in
dedicated
charge
a
of
lot of
layout.
work, time, and whatnot for the 18th and the 17th by coordinating with her as far as the vendors. These are a lot of, I understand all the input and whatnot, but we are at, we're very close. May 1st is
I know.
literally so tomorrow or the
2
day after?
days.
In 2 days. So we have less than 2 weeks to get this off the ground.
And there's no site plan yet?
And there's and we're still talking about site plans and stuff that should have been done a long time ago.
We'll do have the site plan for the 18th.
Yes,
That's done.
I already have that layout. I've had the layout I'm actually coordinating right now with the firework person, the band, the DJ, all that I'm working on.
Okay, so we need a site plan for.
We're not city workers, so we don't understand some of this stuff. So we need to
Yeah,
be
we're
told
doing
specifically,
it.
you need to do this, you need to do this. Or we assume that you guys are handling it because you work for the city. But that's the problem that we're running into is what more do we need to do? And we will have it in a couple days to you. That's where we just need to know what else do we need to send you and what do we need to get for you.
So
We'll have it in a day or two.
for the site plan for Saturday with the tent vendors, we've got some guidelines, spacing, I'm assuming, and stuff that we can. Do we have something that's been issued in the past that we could?
All I got
Leverage.
was a photo of you. I think that Sal brought it to me. That's the only thing that I can do, and I can put this is what I want for these vendors, like next to the dog park and the opening, where we're gonna have the drum circle, things like that. It's just an aerial view.
So
It's really not facings or anything.
So what we need to understand is the number of vendors we're going to have.
Most important thing is number of vendors.
Because once you have the number of vendors, we can go out. I'm assuming we have the ability to draw lines on the grass. We'll mark off where each of the tent vendors will go. Their 10-foot spot. Because it's going to be the same area where your
The market is.
markets is. That's where those are going to go.
Right.
So again,
And I've
we
been there.
need to know: is there going to be 5? Is there going to be 100?
So it's
That
just
will-
that space where the market is. So it's like the dog park I can't have there because I saw yesterday there was like areas because we're gonna have like the drum circle, then the DJ on this side. So,
Well,
I
I'm
just-
just talking about the tent
He's
vendors.
talking about just the tech vendors.
but like
Now,
that
the special.
we have a
Well, again, we need to know everything and where you want to lay it out. If you're saying that you want it over by the dog park, that's not a big deal. We can do that.
I just get directed and I can put it. I mean, I can do that. I need to just so I know what I'm doing. Just know, okay, they're here in this area, and then Because are we gonna have parking inside, parking outside?
You
What
got,
do we
you
do?
got the aerial of the park, right?
Yes,
Just draw in there what you're thinking.
okay.
You know, we know where the tent vendors are going. That's
Okay.
And then like games are going here, dunk tanks
Right.
going
Yeah,
here,
the fire trucks
trucks,
and,
So,
right.
food vendors.
Yeah,
Okay.
just draw on it what you're thinking.
Okay.
okay.
I don't know if this will help you, but I have one that we use for 4th of July. It's a dry erase map, right, of the park. It's large, and you can use it. You know, I'll let you borrow it, and you can mark it up. And this way, when you create your site plan, you can go off of that, if that helps.
That would be great. Thank you.
So this
Yeah.
way, you're not looking at something this big trying to figure that out. But that may help you.
It would.
It helps
a lot.
us when we're spotting out food trucks, right? And we're laying those out,
Right.
and we can determine, you know. So that may help you. So I have it. I could give it to you tonight.
Thank
That
you.
You can borrow it,
Yes.
but I need it back.
No,
Oh,
we'll
okay.
get
Yeah,
back.
definitely.
Thank you.
But yeah, that may help you.
That will,
And
yeah.
it's the park layout.
Perfect.
You know?
That would be great.
So
That we can
that's-
start from
yeah.
there.
Jason?
Do we have a confirmed list of attendees for the 17th? So that way we know, because I know a lot of what I've been getting is
Yeah, not yet, because the people that had said yes, yes,
Yay.
yeah, SPCA and the animal rescue said yes. The runaways.
So
They need. I'll send
Yeah.
them the application. I haven't sent them.
yeah, so there is some coordination that needs to happen from food truck perspective with the 2 days, and because they're going to park and stay, I would imagine.
Yeah, I
Right.
yeah,
So you guys probably need to coordinate with Sal. Do you get the food truck stuff laid out for both days or just the one?
I still have to finalize that with
And those have to be on the gravel, correct? They can't be on the grass.
Typically, they're on either side of the gravel, right?
They go on the. How about I go get the map so I can show you on
That'd
the
be
map?
Thank
Okay.
you.
The last time we were there, they had like the gravel was where everybody walked, and then they're like on either side, like of the walkway.
Yeah.
Although I don't know how wide the gravel. I mean, they may have still technically been on gravel. I'm not sure.
I just thought there was some rule or something that they couldn't be on the grass. Is that
well,
or
because depending on the fact that they have generators and propane tanks, it's probably best not to keep them on the grass.
given we have 20 some, how many we have per day?
Well, and that's the thing. Some are saying that they want to do both. Some only want to do one. So
This is the map we used. And so this way you can get a better.
So
So the
usually
food
they're lined up
trucks
around there.
normally
Yes.
are around here,
Oh, okay.
right? So we space them out because if they have generators, they have to be a good 5 feet away from each other. And then we go out there, and what we usually do for 4th of July is we take orange paint and we paint them, spray it, right, so that they know where they have to go. But if this is completely covered, and then your emergency services are normally up this way, your dog park is over here
So-
in the corner. So
Well, you guys don't need to worry about food trucks,
No.
correct?
Yeah, okay.
no, you
But
just
we
need
just
to
need to know where they're
We
at.
just
So
know where they're.
You,
Yeah.
you need to
Food
focus
trucks are
on your tents within here.
Right.
The food trucks will be along this perimeter.
Along, okay.
And
So
the
just
tents
don't
are
have anybody
usually more down
So-
that way
Right
toward
there.
the pavilion.
Yeah.
And then the games would be over here, and then the touch a truck is like right here.
Okay.
Near
And,
the
and normally the
emergency
fire
services.
truck and stuff
Right.
is down
Yep.
on that
Yep.
south side.
Okay, and then we wanted to add a couple tents over by the dog park.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Is that that's pretty normal though, right?
Is that?
What?
Do you have a comment on that? Is that?
Like what we were just like having on that front side is having all the food trucks. On the side near the boat ramp is having the emergency services and the touch a truck. And then kind of
That's boat ramp, the pier. It goes out on the south side of the park.
yeah, and then the big open field areas where we'll do the games, and then toward the pavilion is the vendors, and then maybe a couple tents over by probably a couple tents over by the dog park, and the drum circle over by the dog park.
Right, drum circle can be
Oh,
here, too.
Oh, drum circle's there.
Yeah.
Is there a spacing requirement for tents? Can it be right on top of each other? Okay. Food trucks, there is a spacing requirement, correct?
Yeah, they just have to have a certain lane to get in and
it's
out.
5 feet. I think it's 5 feet for the generator purposes. I
Right.
can double check that though.
But again, you're good on the food truck portion of the
We got plenty of
layout, right?
space.
Okay.
We have plenty of space.
So if you guys just kind of get a layout for what vendors you have,
Yes.
Yep.
We'll just block this off. We can't use it, and then we know where we can go.
Should be good.
Thank you. I will do that.
Let's. You got something else, Veronica? Let's talk about parking.
Yes.
Because obviously with the food truck stuff there, a lot of times during the markets, there's parking that goes along
Yeah.
the side there. We're not going to allow any parking inside other than this front area.
Well, maybe for very few handicap, and then whatever vendors need to park. It's, so you don't have a ton of cars where everyone is trying to walk and go from tent to tent and vendor to vendor. Most of those cars will come back and park in that small parking lot in the front.
So do we need to reach out to Ryan and his group about using that? Have we already done that, or
No, I have not reached out.
okay?
Across the street.
It shouldn't be an issue, other than probably insurance purposes. Do we have something we can cover that if he asks for it, or?
Yeah, I know we had talked about this.
I can tell you for 4th of July, back before you were here, they didn't do that when Gill Dogs owned it. And I don't remember what the reason why, but there was parking. In the old trailer park lot off 19, which was Gill Dogs at the time. Eric had reached out about getting an insurance ride or something because it was a city event for the 4th of July, and John at the time didn't allow that. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's now Joe's parking lot.
No, it's not.
No.
It's about the trailer park lot across the park. So that would be the only thing to keep in mind if we can look into seeing if it's something we're willing to cover there or whatever for parking, because we're going to have a lot of people potentially for that weekend.
Well, we've had it both ways, Mayor. There's been administration and legal has allowed that, and we have had parking there because it's private property. The city doesn't assume any responsibilities for those properties, and we have had it where they wouldn't allow them, and that police were to tow them. So we have had it both ways there, but it's private property. So as long as the city's not being held responsible or liable for anything.
Right. Well, so here again, I don't know what Ryan would. So if I own the property, reach out to me, hey, can we use your parking lot for this city event? Hey, great. Are you going to indemnify me? Because if something happens at your event, I'm not going to be sued because I allowed you to use my property. That's the question that comes out.
We could probably talk about this offline.
Okay.
Because it's going to get into a big
Right.
discussion. So.
Right. I'm just saying, we need to secure parking, and that's
right. But keep in mind that area is not designed for parking.
right.
So
There's issues.
So our insurance company is not going to provide coverage for it
Okay.
because they're going to say, is every hole covered? Is every tree marked? They're going to have requirements that they will not provide us that rider to cover it.
Okay. We'll just again, I just want to have that question answered before we asked. Maybe we generous enough to allow it since he's a sponsor and all that. But again, there's some liability there, right? That you got to worry about. If we don't have that, parking becomes a real issue.
Absolutely.
Do we? Let's say that we don't have that option. Can we allow parking up and down Old Post Road in the right of way, or no? No. I mean, people do for that event. I can tell you. Yeah. So, right. Something we'll have to figure out. But we need to be thinking about that.
They walk down, like they
Shuttle.
parked in Walmart and they walk.
Do we have the ability to shuttle?
We'd have to figure it out. We don't have a shuttle, but
Because we don't have a school. We don't have school buses. That would be hard to do.
Kia, I thought, had a shuttle.
Is somebody going to reach out to Ryan? Do you want me to?
Yeah, that'd be
Okay, I'll reach out to Ryan and ask if we can use this lot for the weekend.
Another question, porta potties. Are you gonna have porta potties in the park?
They'll be there for both days.
Okay.
And y'all have covered that, right?
That's covered. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay. Anything else
Thank
on the Centennial Festival and Celebration event? Okay. Moving on to old business. Any old business?
no.
Okay, then comments from the chair and committee members. I'll start with Member Robinson. Member Applefield. Member LaCarrie, 2. 1, sorry. Member Thompson.
Negative.
Member LaCarrie, 2.
No.
Vice Chair Gonzalez.
No.
Member Keenan.
I just had one comment. So the foursome for golf did get taken care of. And
Yes. Did we tell Ocean
No.
Honda that?
I did. I took care of it with Amber.
Oh, you took care of it.
Yes, they have an 8:48 tee time for Saturday, the 3rd, and Dustin is covering the overage because the Saturday time is obviously more expensive.
Okay.
So he's
Awesome.
covering it, and it's just taken care of.
Oh, thank you. Great. Very good. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Anything from our panel down there? Okay. All right.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, I have nothing as well.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Thank you for your help tonight.
I have motion second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye.